coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting
Life. Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, that you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. The internet didn't get invented on its own. Government research created the internet, so then all the companies could make money off the internet. If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own.
Okay, so there you go. The philosophy of Hugo Chavez, of Lenin, of Stalin, of all of them, written large in all of our faces. Just period. You are a bitter clinger that you want your Bible and your gun and your family, and government is the reason you have a business and you have a life. And that's America. America is all about swarms of bureaucracies sent out to eat out our substance. America is the Communist Manifesto, and that's why the police and military are taught the Founding Fathers are bad, that the Declaration of Independence and Constitution are bad, because these documents are under inherent attack now. And everywhere the big government types are in control, Chicago, New York, L.A., the society is collapsing, which is what they want. They want to get you dependent. This is part of an economic revolution to bankrupt this country scientifically. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, the 18th day of July, 2012, and we are going to be live here for the next 3 hours. Coming up in the second hour, former State Senator John DeCamp, who did write about connections to Penn State and child abuse in the 90s. I had forgotten that he talked about this. Then I saw a Red Dirt report a few days ago with quotes where he'd been talking about it years ago. Just amazing, the massive child abuse network ring at the highest levels of the Republican Party. He was hired as a big Republican in the state of Nebraska to go basically investigate it and cover it up. I mean, they didn't say, hey, it's real, go cover it up. It was, hey, this is a bunch of bull, Senator DeCamp, go prove it's bull. And so the police investigator he hired, the detective, well-known detective, he and his son's plane was blown up when flying to Chicago to investigate. And the rest, there were indictments, there were convictions. The feds swooped in and covered it all up. So you know about the Catholic Church, know about Penn State. I mean, what about the Texas Youth Commission? All the major youth facilities with gladiatorial fighting, the jail guards selling even 10-year-old children out in the juvenile correctional facilities, to police and judges and people coming in and other wealthy who were part of the pervert club, part of the demon club, to have their way with children all over Texas. The Texas Rangers found out and tried to stop it. They got told to back off. The head of the DPS refused to kill the investigation. He was just removed. So the pedophiles rule Texas as well. So they call the shots. And they're everywhere. They like to get into government control because it's the only place they can operate with basically diplomatic immunity like the UN. They don't really have it, but technically, but in reality they do. And so they hunt us. They hunt our children. They are tearing up our society under Agenda 21, tearing out our roads, destroying our society, trying to collapse our cities so that we will be under their control. It is the Hunger Games model. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that it could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
You've heard Alex explain how the Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced colloidal silver solutions, yet many are unaware of the entire function of the Silver Lungs system and how it has been designed to deliver your silver solutions anywhere in or on the body. My name is Mario Cifaldi, and I'm the developer of the Silver Lungs generator. Not only does the Silver Lungs system produce endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions, it also comes equipped with the proper applicators and devices needed to deliver your silver solutions directly to key target areas. This includes the eyes, ears, nose, lungs, topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lungs system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lungs system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
That has been making the rounds since this weekend when President Barack Obama gave the speech, and it's the standard speech he's giving all over the country. This is off of a teleprompter, complete with the fake pausing and occasional halting and stuttering he does to make it look like he's actually genuine and giving a real speech. And Comrade Obama praised the state ungrateful, individualist heathen. He said, if you've got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. He went on to say government research created the internet so that all the companies could make money off the internet. Funny, I thought Al Gore created it in 1990 as a senator, even though it was around in the 60s. And at first it was government sending itself little messages. And then people starting in the 80s began to get on it, began buying hardware and adding to it and building their own servers and paying for the telecoms to give them rack space. And we, the people, built what is the internet today, and the millions of programmers and code writers and artists and people that created the websites and the journalists and the people taking photos and people doing videos. That's what built the giant online communication / market compendium that is the internet. And what government did, Eisenhower warned us about the fact that at that time in 1961 in his farewell address, over 90%, around 91% of all research, public and private, was being funded by government. There was always that research going on before in America and Europe, empowering the Industrial Revolution. Governments began taking taxpayer money to control development of technology. We'd probably be 100 years ahead if it wasn't for them. A lot of futurists and scientists have broken down the numbers. I mean, they've been suppressing technology. It allows big combines that control government, special interest to use government regulators to shut down what they call disruptive technologies. I've talked to drug company heads. I'm talking about people worth hundreds of millions of dollars apiece that run billion-dollar companies. And they've explained, oh, yeah, we have drugs that'll cure this, cure that. But it's never approved because it's seen as a disruptive technology. There's all sorts of better treatments for cancer, in some cases cures, but you're never going to get access to it because it's a disruptive technology, disruptive to the monopolies and the social engineering. And so they get up there and they say, everything is government. Everything. No, what government has become is a big monopolistic system for a very small cadre of global corporations who are setting up a global corporate fascist government in their own words. They admit it is authoritarian. I mean, the editor of the Financial Times of London, he's their foreign editor. He went to Bilderberg this year. He's written multiple articles saying, yeah, it's world government. In fact, one's called Time for World Government and Now for World Government. And he says, we're authoritarian, we were secretive, we run your life, so what? Take it. Head of the Kissinger Group, Rothkopf, wrote a book, Superclass, saying the same thing. You know, that's what's frustrating is they all sit there and write books about how they've set up a private corporate world government that's anti-free market, monopolistic, and then congratulate themselves that they were able to take over. So that's the evidence that they should be in charge, is survival of the fittest, while they send out Obama to push communism and socialism at the grassroots. But that only means taking from people making $125,000 or $250,000 collectively, the husband and wife, a year, not to give it to the poor people. See, they're bankrupting the country, doubling the amount of people on welfare rolls or surviving off a check in the last 4 years since the design implosion. And then they devalue the dollar so those checks won't buy anything anymore. They let government take over the health care. So, yeah, you get, quote, government, quote, free health care, but it's watered down and is basically eugenics. And you try to communicate that to a dumbed-down population of people that all they know about is American Idol. They just don't understand it. It's like when Mitt Romney, just giving rhetoric and red meat to conservatives, it isn't what he'll actually do if he got in office. Down at the NAACP in Houston said, look, we're going to have to cut non-essential programs like shrimp on treadmills. I'm not joking. They spent millions on shrimp on treadmills. If you think I'm joking, the federal government paid for that. You know, illegal aliens get better in-state tuition in most states than citizens. They basically get free education. You know, things like that. Of course, Romney would never actually cut that. When he was actually a governor, he was all for it because that's what the globalists want, and that's what they get. They want to bankrupt things. They want to create a dependent class. And the NAACP, when he said we need to get rid of Obamacare, they booed him. We're going to play that later coming up. But this is the type of issue, and there it is, tax dollars fund shrimp on treadmills, Jello wrestling in Antarctica. And you're like, well, that's silly. What's the point? I mean, it's silly to have Obama come out and say, I don't like people clutching their Bibles and their guns, because he knows he's deindustrializing them, and it's the last thing. That's what they hate. The state is not God because you have the Bible, whether Obama believes the Bible's real or not, whether you believe it's real or not. It does. If that's God to you, it isn't the state. And that narrative, that idea, that system is about family and standing up against evil if you actually read it. So, in a private deal with people giving him, $30,000 a plate 4 years ago in San Francisco, he says, don't worry, we're going to get these bitter clingers. We can play the clip, you've heard it. They're bitterly clinging their Bibles and their guns. But you see, that is the enemy. We've still got the fact that the government isn't God, collectivism and the Borg system isn't our God, and we've still got guns, and that's what they can't stand. We don't worship them mindlessly and bind everything they say, and we've got guns. And those are the final things. They're going to take everything else. Unless you're in a globalist city, like Austin, Texas, where they live, or certain areas of San Francisco, certain areas of Manhattan, then things are going to be boomtown. But everywhere else, except for the high-tech citadels, the high-tech reservations, everything is going to be imploded, and that's their stated goal. Ted Turner, Maurice Strong, Prince Charles, Prince Philip, Bill and Melinda Gates, all of them, they all talk about the post-industrial world. Go look it up, because you're going to be on a calorie card, you're going to be tracked everything you do, just like the Hunger Games. That is an in-your-face analogy or parable of what they would like to build. Do you understand that, ladies and gentlemen? That's what they want. That's what they're creating. That's what they're doing. That's been their plan in the UN Biological Diversity Assessment 1996. Not the one at the UN website that's redacted. They've expunged it everywhere. You've got to go to the library to get it. I did, University of Texas Library, and it's in my film, Road to Tyranny. 911, The Road to Tyranny. Screenshots and blow-ups of them saying they were going to create feudalism again. We will live in rural areas, highly controlled, one child being sterilized. They will live in high-tech command bases. That is their plan. Okay, exempt from all the laws they pass on us. This is Agenda 21. So I want to play to you Obama at his speech with disdain for all entrepreneurs. This is again, the majority of government contracts are supposed to go to small companies. None of it does. There's secret blacklist. That's come out. They won't give you contracts. This is, even if you're going to have a big government, yeah, there were contracts to locals. At least there'd be some jobs. No. This is all off-source. This is all done by design. This is all designed to bring you economically. This is siege. This is government in the form of siege. Study siege, the most ancient form of total warfare. We are under globalist siege. Africa is under globalist siege. Latin America is under globalist siege. If a country kicks the globalists out, then the UN, everybody puts sanctions on them and embargoes and puts U.S. Navy off their coast or NATO military to block even food or medicine coming in. This is total and complete world government in everyone's face. Total and complete world government. A scientific takeover blueprint that is public. No quarter will be given, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going to let you beg them. Let's go ahead and play a clip of Obama indicting the American dream, indicting it and saying government is the answer from which everything, a crony government run by offshore banks who happen to be eugenicists. Even if you believe in the mega state, total state, worship the state system, and all the nightmares it creates in history, and you're ignorant. Don't you understand? This is a tyranny. This is a conversion of the economy. We'll take you out to break with Lord Obama. Here it is.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. The internet didn't get invented on its own. Government research created the internet, so then all the companies could make money off the internet.
Stop right there. Not human research, not things developed and then the government put together, and then that was deployed. Knowing this technology was coming, they deployed it to make sure they had back doors in it to control it, to make it a tyranny. We're going to come back and run down more of this and really break down just how serious this is. And then we're going to get into all the other incredible news. Stay with us. For more than 6 years, I've talked on the air about creating a social network. PlanetInfoWars.com is in its beta phase. We're just launching, and I want to invite all of you out there to be in on the ground level. Planet InfoWars is about people coming together, forming activist organizations, getting involved politically, hunting and fishing, gardening, dating. This is a place for people who love freedom to meet and to talk and to write and to post information. And I give you this pledge. We are not going to spy on you and sell your data to the New World Order. PlanetInfoWars.com is free, so people who love freedom can get together, connect with people who are awake and know what we're facing. Be active, organize, take action, go viral, create, contribute, resist, because resistance is victory. You are victory. It's waiting for you to breathe power into it. PlanetInfoWars.com.
37 things to hoard. Do you have the 37 crucial food items you can't survive without? When the next disaster hits and the mobs go crazy grabbing food off the shelves, you and your family may be without food or waiting in long food lines. Prepare now at 123survivalplan.com. Easy as 123 to remember. 123survivalplan.com. Many people don't have these 37 food items. Learn what you need to hoard now at 123survivalplan.com. Watch the video we've set up for Patriots only at 123survivalplan.com. Get inside information on the 37 food items that will sell out first when the next disaster strikes. This video contains crucial information you and your family need to prepare for any natural or man-made disaster. In the last 6 months, over 1 million other smart patriots have already seen this video. Prepare now. Go to 123survivalplan.com and learn which 37 food items you should hoard. Easy to remember. 123survivalplan.com. Again, that's 123survivalplan.com.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Iodine protection packs from hempusa.org are now in stock for immediate delivery worldwide. Our iodine protection packs include microplant powder, green life kelp, red palm oil, and our clear roll-on iodine that will feed the body the iodine it needs. All iodine protection packs are in stock, save you money, and ship for free in all 50 states. Visit hempusa.org or call 908-691-2608 today.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
So Obama says that you never built a business, you never did anything. If you are born with talent and skill and apply yourself and are a great sculptor or painter or a great photographer, no, you didn't do that. If I worked probably 18 hours a day for my first 15 years on air. I still work about 12, 13, 14 hours. Even when I'm home, I'm working. I didn't foresee the globalists coming. I didn't read their documents. I didn't go to the library. I didn't research. I didn't do anything. I didn't hire people and get sponsors and work hard to build my own media system from the ground up. No, government did that. And my wife and I didn't get together and work hard and raise our children. My wife and I didn't change diapers. Obama did. I mean, everything is them. Everything is them. I remember when SOS, the local environmental group, was taking people's property to turn around and build housing developments on it that they themselves own. I remember being in radio debates with some of the heads of it and some of the city council people, and they would look at me when I was on other people's shows, back when that was passing in 96, 97. And they'd look at me during the breaks, and they'd smile, and they'd say, there's nothing you can do. We're taking over, and government directs everything. Everything is a planned economy. We know best. We're the reason there's prosperity. And there they were, literally taking ranchers and farmers I was interviewing's property for the earth, saying you will sell it, eminent domain, 3 cents on the dollar. And then just 5 years later, turning around, taking restrictions off, having the former mayor's own development bank loan the money to developers. And then the very bureaucrats that took the property moving into $2 million houses in the most beautiful areas outside Austin. And you know what? They command the SWAT teams. If you don't give your property up, you're dead. They will send them. You will die. And you know what? Thank God for them. There's nothing like having somebody with a 5,000-acre cattle ranch that's probably worth $100 million or more at the time, you know, being given $2 million for it. And then watching as the restrictions are taken off of it and it's built on hotels, spas, shopping malls, luxury communities. I mean, that government did that. Doesn't matter if, you know, that family's great-grandfather moved in there, cleared the trees themselves, started raising cows and goats on it 100 and something years ago. Doesn't matter if they worked their fingers to the bone. Doesn't matter. No. Government took it and then gave it to select insiders. And mafia government is why the grass grows, the sun shines, the birds sing. Those of us that gamble everything to start businesses and operations and that work hard to make sure things happen and that do the interviews and hire the people and train them on the skills and then put them in positions and then put reporters on the air and create notoriety and a career for them, I get zero credit. I am, in fact, a parasitic piece of filth for demanding more out of people. We're trying to get people to the next level so that they can then go on someday and maybe create their own system. I am bad. Entrepreneurs, trailblazers, builders, inventors are scum. Government taking taxpayer money and buying it all up and then selectively giving it to certain corporations like Google to then deploy taxpayer-funded technology against the taxpayers, that's good. Government taking our tax money. When government doesn't have our consent anymore, it has a 9% approval rating on average, Congress does. Doesn't matter if they don't have our consent. They are God, they are good, we are trash, we are filth. If you built a business, you didn't build it. If you have a successful business, you didn't build it, you don't have credit. If you get up, a lot of these little stands that make tacos and fajitas and things, I mean, there are little guys around Austin that have got 10, 20 stands apiece now, making millions of dollars a year. I've talked to some of them, people that came to this country with nothing 20 years ago, 5 years ago, start little taco stands that, and it's competitive. Whoever has the best tacos starts getting the business. And then suddenly they have 20 taco stands around town. Their hard work, getting up at 4 a.m., making the tacos, going out there in the freezing cold or the hot, being bit by mosquitoes, whatever, and doing that, you get no credit. You did nothing. Government that takes your money and shakes you down is actually just lovingly caressing you, and they built everything. Everything. Government. Okay? The American dream is evil. We now have the socialist dream.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? The freedom to choose, the freedom to vote, the freedom to worship. How about the freedom to take control of your own future? My friends at eFoods Direct are celebrating freedom this month while helping you take control of your greatest dependency, food. Right now, you receive one of their new Patriot Packs free with every $289 you spend on their highly nutritious and great-tasting food. The Patriot Pack is a 30-day supply of eFoods quick fix, easy-to-store food. For example, purchase a 1-year supply and get 5 Patriot Packs, which is 5 months of food free. Use the extra food for everyday use and save hundreds off your grocery bill. Give your free Patriot Pack as a gift to a friend or relative, or simply add more food to your long-term supply for free. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and get your free Patriot Pack with purchase. Operators are standing by. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. eFoods is so affordable. The more you store and eat, the more you save. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633 right now. Sick of the globalists, eugenicists, control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
I'm going to run over some other news here quickly. And then I'm going to go to your phone calls. If you're entrepreneurs, do you agree that government did it all and you didn't do anything? As Obama said, imagine if somebody told you 10 years ago that an American president, that under that president, the welfare rolls would double. And that then we would get to a point where the president looked at you and said, if you have a business, you didn't build it. Implying that if you have crew or employees, they're not paid. Or that in a free system, they didn't come and seek employment. And again, that's to play employees off against owners by the government. That's the plan here, and this is class warfare. Of course, you know that at a tune of about 5-1, the bankers, the corporate welfare, you're never going to hear Mitt Romney talk about corporate welfare. You're never going to hear Rush Limbaugh talk about corporate welfare. You never Every once in a while, they'll talk about crony capitalism in relationship to Democrats openly giving their friends, here's $1 billion, here's $500 million, here's a waiver on regulations we passed. Because that's why government always goes bad. And the bigger the government, the worse. Because it allows those corrupt influence to get in there through bribery, blackmail, payoffs, sex, everything. Because, I mean, if you can get to a senator, a senior senator, they can get your legislation in, they can get it through, they can get you hundreds of billions of dollars in contracts. They can write regulations to shut down your competition and give you a waiver. And these poor welfare class people, they've never worked a real day in their life, many of them. They have no idea. They sit around watching daytime TV all day with the lawyer ads and the sitcoms and the MTV. And, I mean, can you blame them? They don't have a hope in the world of anything. But then there's people who've had their arms and legs blown off in combat. They've got to be on disability. You've got all the people who've got chronic health problems from all the chemical and biological warfare and bad health decisions who the insurance companies won't insure. And so then that gets thrown on the states that are going bankrupt. You got 35 million illegal aliens bankrupting the system. Can you go to Mexico and get free health care? They laugh at you. So the plan is bankrupt the country. And so now we've been bankrupted just off our own $15 trillion they got us into debt on. They've signed us on to $644 trillion. That's a 2-year-old number. It's over $700 trillion now. Of the 1.5 quadrillion worldwide, fake paper. It'd be like if I set up a money laundering operation or a counterfeiting operation, and I got the city of Austin to invest in it, and the city of Austin was going to go belly up if they didn't sign on to debt 20 times the debt of city of Austin. You know, just an analogy here. And so instead of going to jail, the city of Austin comes out and says Alex Jones has to run everything now because he signed us onto this fraud. And I get up there and lecture you about how you're going to live under austerity. This is the plan. If we had a free market in healthcare like we used to have, these new procedures would get approved quicker. People would find out what procedures really worked better. It wouldn't just be a bunch of drug companies running things, selling you drugs that kill you dead or to hammer or don't even help you, while blocking approval of good drugs or paying off doctors not to tell you about generic drugs that work even better or older drugs. They know all this. This is on record. This is a gamed insider economy, a mafia economy. It's converting to that. So who does the mafia want to shut down? Who do mafias always want to shut down, even at the micro level? They want to shut down local businesses they don't control, and they don't like the churches because sometimes the local churches might stand up to them. And what does Obama say? He doesn't like bitter clingers who cling their guns and their Bibles, and he doesn't like small business owners because I've done the math. I'm not some, globalist billionaire exempt from all this stuff. And so on average, taxes one way or another, guess what percentage, because I've had my accountant do it, had a CPA do it, looking at all my numbers, one of the top accounting firms here in Austin, is we have first-rate accounting now. 5 years ago, we didn't. I mean, I've gotten neurotic about it. Guess how much Alex Jones pays in taxes at the end of each year, county, state, federal reserve, all of it. Guess what I pay? Guess. 56%. And folks, that ain't enough. You understand? It isn't enough. I mean, feudal serfs in Europe on average gave about 10%. It's the same number in feudal Japan. 10%. 10%. 10%. If you grew rice, you gave 10%. If you grew vegetables, if you caught fish, you gave 10%. 10%. If you sold those at the market, you got some silver, 10%. The tax collector was there at the end of the dock to get the money. And there you could argue, they had Japanese, ships out there to stop Hun raiders coming in and pressing and taking the Japanese as slaves. That was always the argument for government before. But the government doesn't even do that. It doesn't even protect us now, does it? In fact, they're the globalist raiders shutting down our country. So a feudal serf, a chattel bondsman, slave to the land, quasi-complete slave, They paid 10%. I pay 56%. Google pays 3%. General Electric, 0. General Motors, 0. Look it up, 0. 0. The trillions they make offshore never comes back. Tax exempt. They write the laws to shut down their competition here domestically and move it to China, Mexico, India, and 160 plus other third world countries. And then why do you think all over the country, even Forbes has asked the question, why is there a war on lemonade stands? Where they actually arrest people, fine them, you name it, little kids. Because the enemy is anybody with a garden, anybody with a little shop. Garage sales are being harassed everywhere. Louisiana passed a law last year that you can't use cash in secondhand sales or it's a felony and giant fines. The feds now have little teams that go out to garage sales, and if you're selling anything that was recalled, even 10 years ago, there's giant books of that each year. You're selling some toy, some table that was recalled, you get a $1 million fine, and the second offense, $15 million fine. If you think I'm joking, just type in $15 million fine for garage sales. AP, Reuters, Fox. This is the control. Hey, you're a multinational corporation that knowingly puts measles, mumps, and rubella in the shot, knowing it's going to make you sick, and laughing, saying this will make people get scared and take more of the shot, which will cause more MMR. So then we'll... That all came out. And did they get in trouble? No. I mean, I guess they paid a fine of like 2.5% of their year's gross. What they make in a couple days. When big government outfits get caught doing things. When government gets caught nerve gassing our own troops in thousands of experiments, killing many of them. Does anybody get in trouble? No. It just comes out later, or Hillary apologizes. Oh, we're sorry. We had a U.S. aid program where we injected Guatemalan and El Salvadoran children with live syphilis. We're sorry. Get me the clip, please, of Romney. So here's Romney acting like a conservative. Wolf in sheep's clothing there. But at least at least the rhetoric's out there to counter it, saying, hey, we're going to go bankrupt. We don't need all these, entitlements. But what about the defense entitlements? See, 1 in 7 is on a welfare check. 1 out of 4 is on Social Security. It's about to be 2 out of 4. Or they say like in 10 years, it's going to be half the people are on Social Security because it's an aging population. Just a couple years. But if you add it all up, 51% survive off a government contract or a government check. That's why old people are like, how can Obama come out and say, business owners are bad, you didn't build jack squat, the state owns you, the state's where the milk comes from. Milk and honey. Your mama didn't breastfeed you, the state did. The state creates wondrous, happiness. The state is so good. The state is so happy. Look what it did for Detroit. Don't you love a wasteland? Don't you love North Korea? I mean, Americans on cue when they stage a terror attack will go out and cry in the streets like people in North Korea. People in England on cue go out and worship the Queen when they tell them to, just like it's North Korea. This is a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Government. Where you have these big governments like Cuba and North Korea, they've got cars from the 1950s, the last cars they were able to buy from the United States or Europe. They can't, the government can't even make an automobile. But let me tell you what they can do. They've got forced labor camps, and they've got crazed-eyed police and military. You ever seen the military and police in North Korea in those films, how crazy-eyed they are? Just totally wild on power trips. Same thing in China. They're the worst of society, and you know what? They got fancy uniforms and lots of medals, and they look like total clowns, just like the people running our systems are. You're clowns. You're jokes. You don't intimidate us. You are a disgrace. All the government awards and government parades and shutting down whole cities when Obama was here yesterday, I-35, hours of backed up traffic, during rush hour in the afternoon and at night, totally shut down, bedlam. We got video of it from 3 angles. We're going to show it on the nightly news tonight. Have a full report the next time. They got so much footage. I'll be hosting the news tonight. All of this in our face. And this is it. Government delivers Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, Communist China, Communist North Korea. Look, I talk to people and business people, and I got somebody working for me that family had a business with a lot of employees, very successful in Venezuela. And Chavez showed up. Chavez's people showed up, what was it, 5 years ago, and said, okay, you're not paid anymore. But if you want to keep the property this is on and not have us basically arrest you, you're going to sit here and run this. And these are the people you're going to hire now to run your private school. All the rest of you are fired. Get out of here. The state's taking this over. Oh, man, that's what Obama is getting you ready for. Nationalization of everything. And then what do people do that have businesses? They just say, you know what, you forget it. I'm not going to do this. And everything collapses. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want to be in their little armored citadels with us all running around here in squalor. That's the plan. Totally destroy the country because the globalists hate you more than they even hate the Muslims. And I know there's Muslim extremists and the globalists fund a lot of them, and I get all the Clash of Civilizations. But the globalists wrote white papers like the Clash of Civilizations, PNAC, where they said they were going to radicalize Muslims. The State Department admits they did it and played us off against each other. They don't like the Muslims because you can say what you want, but they're pro-family. And they're not into porn, and they're not into vaccines, and they're not into fractional reserve banking and money changing. And that's why they've got to be destroyed. The corrupt Saudi Arabian system, it's going to be the model. But if you think the globalists hate the Muslims, folks, they hate us about 100 times more. And look what they've done to us culturally. They even bragged they've done this to us culturally, scientifically, wrecking us. I want to talk to a few entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur, do you disagree with me? I mean, when you make a film and work 2 or 3 jobs, be able to do it, and then become successful, or when you start a restaurant and bust your butt, or when you start selling used cars and then finally get your own dealership, you know, over 20 years, or you're a farmer out there working. I mean, I've worked as a farmer. I've worked as for a large animal vet. I've seen how the farmers and ranchers work, folks. I was out at Steiner Ranch a few months ago doing a video shoot, and we were leaving at 9 at night, and there were people out there cutting hay because the hay was ready to come in. You know what? Working 16 hours a day, you didn't do jack squat, buddy. Government did. Really, they collectivized the farms in the Soviet Union and the Ukraine and in China, and it killed over 100 million people, 64 million conservatively. China says 80 plus million. Our State Department says 64 mil. Russians killed over 40 million over 2 decades. In 1 year, they killed 10 million Ukrainians. And you're like, man, that's no. It was done on purpose. Lenin wrote it was done on purpose. Because it's what they like to do. And all big governments are bad, crazy people, and they always want to wear black uniforms. They always want to set up checkpoints, and they always want to take over your business, and they always want your wife. And every evil person in one of these systems is now being given power. You know, it was confirmed that police, it actually came out in the back of the news, back of the paper, would shoot anyone trying to walk out on the highways. They wouldn't let you leave New Orleans. They would come to your house, take your guns, and make you go to the Superdome to be raped with no one protecting you. And then the police would come back to a good-looking woman's house, tie their husband up and rape them, and then kill them. Oh, yeah, I taught people that saw it. And it was little footnotes. Yeah, a lot of dead bodies. Yeah, tied up families, raped and killed by the police. That's America. Now, is every city that bad? No, but it soon will be. Because they're getting rid of all the good cops, just like Serpico said. And they're putting people in that want to tie you up and rape your wife and bash your children's brains out in front of you before they take a switchblade out and slit your throat. You're like, why would they do that? Because they like to do that. You like to take a girl out and date her and get to know her and all that passion and everything. They don't like that. They like women tied up. And they like uniforms, and they like black uniforms, and they like checkpoints. And every culture that goes under, whether it's communist or fascist, if it's authoritarian, it creates the same thing. Okay? And we're here now. And they're openly saying businesses are bad now. Okay? And they're openly, I've talked to military, you know, we have the whistleblower email. People can send us whistleblowers at Infowars.com. But it's coming in, and we already have video of it happening, where they're training the troops nationwide that anyone that resists having their guns taken and being taken to a FEMA camp and forcibly inoculated is a, quote, domestic terrorist, and you are to kill them. And you don't want to endanger yourself with somebody who's a dead ender. That's what they call it when you're in your house with your family. They're just going to pull up with an armored vehicle with a flamethrower on the end, just like Waco, and they're going to burn your house down. And then say you burned your house down. And it won't be on the news. It'll just be some houses burned down tonight. So the answer is, to this 1984 is 1776. And the answer is, if this stuff does go to that and does unfold, and they're going around trying to pick everybody up, you don't wait at your house, folks, okay? That's Rule 101. Because these cowards will come, they will burn your house down. And they'll sit around and joke about it. You know, they would pull over Iraqi families and just run their tanks over and laugh at them and say, that's what you get for looting. The family is out there getting sticks out of a field to have a fire to cook their food. And the army pulls up with an Abrams with little kids. It's an old broken down car, and they line them up. They shoot the car, laugh at them as the family cries, run over it. And then look, again, all of it will be visited on us. The 52 million aborted babies, all the dead in our name. It will all come back sevenfold on America. You understand that? We'll be right back.
Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? The freedom to choose, the freedom to vote, the freedom to worship. How about the freedom to take control of your own future? My friends at eFoods Direct are celebrating freedom this month while helping you take control of your greatest dependency, food. Right now, you receive one of their new Patriot Packs free with every $289 you spend on their highly nutritious and great-tasting food. The Patriot Pack is a 30-day supply of eFoods quick fix, easy-to-store food. For example, purchase a 1-year supply and get 5 Patriot Packs, which is 5 months of food free. Use the extra food for everyday use and save hundreds off your grocery bill. Give your free Patriot Pack as a gift to a friend or relative, or simply add more food to your long-term supply for free. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and get your free Patriot Pack with purchase. Operators are standing by. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. eFoods is so affordable. The more you store and eat, the more you save. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633 right now.
When I hear about natural disasters and the danger of having no water, I'm not worried. Why? Because I have an Aquapod. Got it from MyPatriotSupply.com. The Aquapod Emergency Water Storage Kit comes with a pump and a huge 65-gallon bladder that easily fits in a standard bathtub, allowing a family of 4 a 14-day supply of safe, fresh water, and at a much lower cost than bottled water. Made in the USA with BPA-free material, the Aquapod keeps water fresh for up to 8 weeks. Just fill from your tub, then pump into jugs or bottles. The Aquapod is only $29.95, and when you buy 2 or more Aquapods at MyPatriotSupply.com, you'll qualify for free shipping. Plus, check out the Survival Seed Vault with 20 seed varieties, Tattler canning lids, the nation's only customizable long-term storable foods, and much more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Get stress-free shipping on all orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927 or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence.
Let's keep preparedness simple. Do you need stuff for disasters? Of course you do. For over 15 years, DisasterStuff.com has, well, stuff for disasters. See? Easy to remember. DisasterStuff.com. Want free shipping on a new Berkey water filter? DisasterStuff.com is the official Berkey in-stock shipping center. Lots of folks want an EMP Faraday bag to protect sensitive electronics during a solar or nuclear event. Now, for a limited time, all survival gear purchases over $75 include a free 8x8-inch EMP Faraday bag. Just enter promo code EMPBAG when you check out at DisasterStuff.com. We're also a Country Living Grain Mill authorized dealer. Plus, we offer freeze-dried foods by Alpine Air and Wise Foods. We also carry emergency kits, survival seeds, and much more. Preparedness should be simple, and it is. Just remember, DisasterStuff.com. Freedom through self-reliance and personal responsibility.
Yeah, we don't need any brainwashing control. The president breaking in over radio, TV, and cell phones, giving us messages. We don't need Janet Napolitano in most Walmarts now on Jumbotrons saying, watch everyone but the government, trust no one but your loving government. We don't need the president up there saying entrepreneurs are bad and lazy and scum, but welfare people are great, including corporate welfare. Again, the TSA sticks their hands down your pants now. It's all meant to be over the top. It's all meant to be an over-the-top, complete police state system in your face. And now you've got all these people don't know how to work, can't find good jobs to work because of inflation. The McDonald's jobs aren't going to be able to pay for anything. They're eating poison food, they're getting sick, and the answer is get the rich people. And that means your neighbor, they've got $10 more than you. You go to these big welfare cities like Chicago and other areas, and you see the poor welfare people, and they look at anybody with nice shoes or a nice shirt like they are trash and with hate. These people have no hope, no dreams. They watch television about bling and P. Diddy all day and feel like total trash. This mass-marketed Madison Avenue makes them feel like total garbage and takes their destiny away, their self-respect, everything. And then the bureaucracy comes to them and says, you don't have to just be on welfare. You can be a bureaucrat. You can be a CPS. You can be a cop. You can be a meter maid. You can be a bureaucrat. You're going to be a green police. And they say, well, yes, we are. And so if you're on your piece of your property out there bird watching and a bunch of weirdos show up in uniforms to get in your face, folks, that's who they are. CPS comes to take your kids. They're generally 400, 500-pound former welfare recipients who can hardly talk, but they're going to take your crying kid and put them on Prozac when they cry for you at age 4. They're going to commit their crimes against us over and over again. Coming up after I take a few calls, we've got former Senator John DeCamp who exposed, and I'm sort of thinking about this, and I remembered it, and sure enough, there was an article about it. He had exposed stuff at Penn State 15, 16, 17 years ago. He's coming up. Unbelievable. And how high it really goes. I want to play a clip, though, of Romney. I mentioned this. Imagine, Romney's talking to the NAACP, and he says, we're going to get rid of Obamacare. They're like, no, boo, boo. They turn Americans away all day long. But if you're an illegal alien, they don't turn you away. But you're not supposed to turn citizens away. No one can be turned away from health care or from drugs. It's called charity care. Most of these hospitals are charity. They're supposed to have half their business be charity. A regular doctor is supposed to be 30%. But now under Obamacare, they're getting rid of the charity care. And it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. And it's written by the insurance companies, but they don't care. Because, Obama, he sits up there with a fake, urban black accent and reads off a teleprompter, and you know what? People feel like they're winning. Just like Republicans feel like they're going to win with Mitt Romney because he's a Republican. Here it is.
And so to do that, I'm going to eliminate every non-essential, expensive program I can find. That includes Obamacare, and I'm going to work to reform and save...
All right, that's enough. And you notice he was pleased by the boo. Because even though he plans to continue everything Obama's doing, because that's the globalist game plan, the rhetoric, though, at least he now can get some popularity amongst conservatives. And his popularity is going up now. They're like, well, he did write Obamacare, he is for open borders, carbon taxes, and assault weapon bans, but he's talking the right talk now. But no, he won't tell you about... If he would have said, listen, these mega banks and big foreign corporations, they've gotten trillions. We're going to cut that. And we're going to give that back to you in tax breaks. He might have gotten a cheer, but instead he just put it out kind of as that mainline Republican to get the boo.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
If you want an American company with American products made by Americans, here is the Cal Ben Soap Company. Alex and his staff have used these pure soap products for years. These all-natural soaps are made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils that are earth-friendly and safe. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog. Buy the 1 to 2 month sample package and enjoy soaps that are twice as good as what you're using now. Or save big with a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. This is an amazing deal. You can save thousands of dollars and you will love the way real soap makes you feel. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Okay, I haven't even gotten into a lot of the news yet, and we will, including our Pios investigation finding that the birth certificate has been tampered. That's like saying we've discovered that bears go to the bathroom in the woods. Everybody's like, oh, that's a ridiculous conspiracy theory. Yes, and that birds fly. We have discovered that water is wet. Ladies and gentlemen, they first said that I'm going to get into it later. It's just, remember for 3 years they said that other birth certificate was the only one. There was no long form. Then we get the long form, and it was a computer font that's supposed to look like typewriter. The C's, the T's, the A's, they're all identical. That doesn't happen with a typewriter, folks. Each one is it's just, I looked at it in 2 hours, went online. We put a video out that got 1 million views showing it's fake. Of course it's fake. Do I need 20 forensics people to tell me that? What do you think forensics people look at, ladies and gentlemen? They call him an African in there. They didn't start calling him that until the 1980s on record. And that's what our Pio shows is the sheet they used. No one ever used the word that they were an African American. Man, I tell you, folks, I tell you. But again, it was lies within lies. We're like, hey, you say you were born in Kenya for 16 and a half years in your own literature, your own publicist. Your wife says it in speeches, you're born in Kenya. That was the old cover story. He was really born in Hawaii to Frank Marshall Davis. But we're like, hey, you say you were born there. I know your dad doesn't look like you over there, but whatever. And now we know he's Frank Marshall Davis's son, Mike. And now he gives speeches like Frank Marshall Davis's. You dirty small businesses, you filth. You bitter clingers, we're going to get you. You sure cling to your hundreds of Secret Service that guard you. They had thousands of different police and Secret Service out. Your house was getting robbed yesterday in Austin. Sorry, everybody had to sycophantically run around behind Obama. What a nobody. But it's meant for all the sheep to think he's a somebody. Bush, Obama, they're all just thumb-sucking puppets of the bankers. Makes me want to throw up. Talking to evil entrepreneurs, James, Brent, Steve, Aaron, Doris. James in California. James, are you an evil entrepreneur? I mean, do you want to apologize to America for hiring people?
Absolutely not. That's what we're founded on. I'm so frustrated at this. It hurts me every day. Again, the anger and frustration.
You're bad. No, you're bad. Government is good. Admit you're wrong. Admit North Korea is great.
Hey, back in 2008, I was making $60,000 a year, and the company I was working for went under, and I didn't file for unemployment, and I haven't filed for it from it since then, and I started my own business.
You're a bad person.
I've not taken the money. I specifically don't. I could have taken, $60,000, $40,000 a year for a year and a half, and I didn't take that. Instead, I've had to pay more taxes and get no benefit. I get no credit for not taking the 40 grand, and instead what I get is I have to pay more taxes for the $15,000 that I make because I'm now an entrepreneur in a small business. It's so immoral, so unjust. But thank you for your life and your fortune and your sacred honor.
I'm going to admit I'm bad for now having over 40 people that work here. We're about to go up to 50, spending every backup dime we've got to go to the next level. I want to apologize for hiring people right out of college and hiring people that have been let go from TV stations because of cutbacks and radio stations. I want to apologize for hiring graphics people, I want to apologize for not being on welfare and not living in a slum and watching daytime TV all day and going out and mugging people on my off time. I want to apologize right now.
A righteous man. In 2000, I had carpal tunnel and could be on permanent disability since then. So, absolutely, anyone, if you can get off of disability, if you can just
How dare
make it
you?
through on,
How dare
absolutely.
you? How dare you? How dare you? You're going to be happier watching daytime TV all day if you're handicapped or whatever. Don't go out and get a job and get past your handicap. Let the country go bankrupt for Soviet re-education. We're almost there. We're almost a total state. We're going to be like North Korea soon. All of you in uniform will be more powerful. It's going to be great. Just like North Korea. It's almost here.
Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? The freedom to choose, the freedom to vote, the freedom to worship. How about the freedom to take control of your own future? My friends at eFoods Direct are celebrating freedom this month while helping you take control of your greatest dependency, food. Right now, you receive one of their new Patriot Packs free with every $289 you spend on their highly nutritious and great-tasting food. The Patriot Pack is a 30-day supply of eFoods quick fix, easy-to-store food. For example, purchase a 1-year supply and get 5 Patriot Packs, which is 5 months of food free. Use the extra food for everyday use and save hundreds off your grocery bill. Give your free Patriot Pack as a gift to a friend or relative, or simply add more food to your long-term supply for free. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and get your free Patriot Pack with purchase. Operators are standing by. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. eFoods is so affordable. The more you store and eat, the more you save. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633 right now. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Senator John DeCamp has had an emergency today, so he's unable to do the full hour. He's on the road right now, stopped. Only be with us about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to get him back for a full hour next Tuesday before he goes in for surgery. This could not be a more important interview you're about to hear. He is the best-selling author of The Franklin Cover-Up. He's also proven this in court. One time at news media said he was a liar. He sued him and won. Child abuse, Satanism, and the murder in Nebraska. During 16 years in office, a former state senator, John DeCamp, was cited even by his enemies at the World Herald as one of the most effective legislators in Nebraska history. A highly decorated Vietnam War veteran, in 1975, he initiated Operation Baby Lift, which evacuated 2,800 orphan Vietnamese children. He is currently a practicing attorney in Lincoln, Nebraska. He served as a lawyer for the Militia of Montana, a constitutional militia group in the 90s. DeCamp has also been lead perspective on Conspiracy of Silence, an unaired documentary on the Franklin child abuse. Well, we aired it. We got it and aired it locally on Access 15 years ago, and it since went viral online. That's where that people always say, have you seen this? Yeah, I've seen it. I'm the one that put it out. He joins us now, and here's the Red Dirt Report. And when I saw this weekend, it punched me. I was like, I remember him saying that, but since it hadn't been in court in the news, I'm like, let's not go there, Senator. But I remember him getting into Boys Town before that all came out, the Catholic Church. I remember him getting into Penn State. And I remember him saying on air more than 10 years ago that the football program, and I'm like, and I know he's credible, but I'm like, okay, Senator, let's just stop. Folks, by the way, have dug those interviews up now. I'm like, let's just stop right there and just get into what was proven in court. Because people went to jail in Nebraska. He was hired as a big Republican because, to go in and disprove it. They're like, oh, this couldn't be true, Senator. You go disprove it. When his investigator, a police officer, and his son got murdered, the senator started to look closer. So he's going to recap all that. So he was hired as a prominent Republican and a senator to go in there as damage control because, he didn't believe it was real and found out it was all real and more. And this goes directly to the pedophile networks who are Satanists. And, of course, you've seen it come out in the local Penn State news that it's a state secret, Sandusky, that he was pimping the kids out. Of course, ladies and gentlemen. He joins us now, Senator John DeCamp, to recap the history. Bohemian Grove's going on right now. His connections led into there as well. Dead bodies dumped outside the Bohemian Grove. Senator DeCamp, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for letting me come on. It's been a long time since we've talked. And so many strange things have happened in that distance of time. You mentioned Pennsylvania State. I had, in my own mind, completely forgotten about that. But then I started checking because I started getting calls about 6 months ago from just gobs of people over in Pennsylvania. And they said, well, you told us about this 10 or 15 years ago, blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, maybe. They said, yeah, it was even in your book. You said something about it. And I said, well, I got to be honest with you, I don't remember. And then I started doing some checking, and I guess I was even on your program way back when and brought up Penn State and everything. But because I had been sued in 3 different states on the Franklin thing, and by the way, the last one of those just ended about a year and a half ago in Ogden, Utah. The former police chief, one of the key principals I named, he had sued me because he had lost his police job as head of the police force there after he got thrown out of Nebraska when I exposed him. And so he sued me, and we had a full-scale trial, this last trial, in Ogden, Utah, Mormon Central. And it was amazing. I brought in people from way back then and ended up winning, and then he took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court dismissed it and said, I was right.
Well, anyway, so you've won, just to be clear, 3 different lawsuits.
Yep.
Man.
3 different states going up to their Supreme Court on the issue of Franklin and things I said.
Well,
there.
let me ask you this.
I won $1 million judgment, even though we haven't been able to collect it, against one of the key principals named Larry King, not the Larry King that's famous on the radio now, or has been.
TV, Yeah, not Larry King of CNN. Yeah.
Anyway, and won $1 million judgment in a full-scale trial, had witnesses, for example, Johnny Gosh's mother, first time she'd ever been in court and testified that I had located for her, which I did. Her son, Johnny, who had been kidnapped, of that ring of people that kidnapped kids and used them for sex and so on and so forth. And just one thing after another. And then these latest calls from Pennsylvania people saying I had brought it up way back then. I guess it rocked and shocked me. I'm 71 years old now, turned 71 here in the last month. And about 6-8 months ago, I noticed that so many things I used to remember, I couldn't remember anymore. So I'm taking some special medicine for that supposedly helps you. But I started looking things up and talking to some of the people, and then I got a call from you, and you said that I brought it up on the program years and years ago and went into depth. And I did start kind of halfway remember, and then one of the things I did was I even used the names back then of some of them, including the football team, certain people there that are now involved. But
no, I mean, I understand. I mean, you were told all this close to 20 years ago. You covered it in the last 15. I mean, the whole issue is, from your deep research and people contacting you and convictions and things that happened, we had the Texas Youth Commission that nobody knows about outside Texas, where at almost all their major facilities with the youth, they were raping them, selling them for sex, gladiatorial fights, and the Texas Rangers, they tried to stop it. They were pushed off the case. The state police tried to stop it. They were told stand down.
Yep.
I mean, my point is that, so you know about it. I mean, how big is this empire of satanic pedophiles from your research?
It is one son of a bitchin' big empire, and just amazes me how accurate I was way back then, and things that have come out, and things, it just is unreal. And so I'm going back and reading my own book again. It was a New York Times bestseller, and 2 other books written, which basically copied it after that. But the Franklin cover-up was the name of the book, and just I had some other things I was going to tell you, but damn, they slipped my mind. So
now, Senator, let me stop you right there. Specifically, though, looking at the Penn State situation, you got Sandusky now convicted of raping children at high noon, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, in the public showers. The fact that now even the former FBI director's own research says the entire top staff knew, covered it up. That makes them accomplices. Local print and local radio, the guy that finally pushed this out to break it, last year, they have said that the word is, we played these clips here from the news, the word is that there was all sorts of this going on, and they were doing this and pimping the children out. Well, that's what...
Sandusky was not the only one. He's the only one today being convicted or whatever, or charged, but that was just like happened in Nebraska. They covered up. Tried to cover up for the police chief, but I finally exposed him completely, and he tried to sue me then in the different states he went to and got ahead of their police force for the state and so on, and each time
I don't know the specifics of that, but I mean, tell us about the convictions that have happened. Tell us about Larry King briefly, and then whatever you can remember, because I know you also
I have a judgment against Larry King for $1 million. The same trial that I was the first one in the whole United States to sue the Catholic Church and some priests was the case I won the $1 million judgment. But they dismissed the Catholic Church because they said this is just absurd to accuse these priests of this. The priests.
That's right. You were one of the first in the. I mean, how many?
I was the first case in the United States, and I ended up winning $1 million judgment after trial, and then trial just separately on the damages, and I won $1 million. Well, actually, $1,200,000 for the kid who was just one of the kids.
Sir, specifically, Larry King, the guy that sung the Star Spangled Banner at the Republican National Convention, Republican pimp, he went to jail, too.
Oh, yeah, but then he got out after a couple years because you still had the cover-up going big time in Nebraska. That's when I wrote the book and just said, same old thing. The people in very high-up places, from judges to police chiefs to others who are participating in the use of these children. I mean, I couldn't believe it. One of the first things I did when I started investigating it, just after I got out of being a senator, I represented a little girl And I couldn't believe it because I had written publicly in all the newspapers in Nebraska. I'm the first one to say I can't believe any of these things. They're so preposterous, these kids' stories. I said, but I will check into it, and I've agreed to represent this one girl who they're trying to prosecute because she was just a little girl then, and she was telling her stories, and so they were prosecuting her, or wanting to put her in an institution instead of the people that she had accused. And, oh, God, it's just strange.
Senator DeCamp, can we be specific here? Tell us how you were first. The Republicans first came to you and said, well, you're saying this isn't true. We want you to investigate because it was going to the top of the Republican Party. I mean, and then what happened?
I said, I am investigating because I don't believe it. And I had gotten out of being the Senate, even though it happened while I was there. And
okay, tell people what happened to your investigator.
Oh, he got killed. He got murdered. He and his son in an airplane, and just on and on and on. It's an insane story. My book is on Amazon.com now, you know, even though I sold it myself by the tens and hundreds of thousands of books. But then it went on Amazon.com here about, 2 years ago maybe, and it's on Amazon.com now called The Franklin Cover-Up. And it's kind of funny because, you know, there was so many people in key high places covering this up right up into the Congress. I named people there. And
I understand, and you've always won in the suits, but just to be general here, from your research all over the country, you called Boys Town before it was in the news. You called the Catholic priest thing, saying there was a network in there 20 years ago.
Yep. Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. I mean, you went to Pennsylvania. You investigated. I understand you've gotten older and don't remember all this.
I mentioned that on your program, I think, about 10 years ago.
Yes, and I asked you not to talk about it because they're never, I mean, I didn't want to get sued. But now you've been proven right again, yes.
Okay, listen, I got to run now, and we'll do that hour-long program next Tuesday, and I'll have a good phone and a good location then, so I'm ready.
Sure, I understand you had an emergency, but just briefly, from your nationwide research, what's the percentage, if you had to dead reckon, I mean, how big is this network, this cult?
It's pretty good size, and it involves usually very high-up people who, as I said in my book, the system protects itself. For example, if the police chief kind of pulls somebody off of something and a judge kind of gets influenced or pressured to throw out the case and so on and so forth. It just is beyond anything. I never believed any of it. I went public and said this all has to be make-believe. I'm the first one to tell you it can't be true, but I am going to look into it just so I can prove it.
And you said that, and documented, Satanism sits on top of it. So, I mean, if, say, 20%...
So frequently that is involved. It's satanic cult stuff. Now, I can't believe it, but it's true.
All right. Well, listen, I know you're going in for surgery next week, so do you promise I can get you on?
Wednesday morning, so you got to do it Tuesday, or otherwise you got to wait another week till after I get back from surgery.
One final comment. We lost a guy who helped you fight a lot of tyranny, former FBI Southern California L.A. director, Ted Gunderson. I know that you'd worked a lot.
Funny you should mention that. He was one of them that didn't believe anything either, and then when he got involved so deep, guess what? He was second in command of the FBI, and he moved here to Nebraska and lived with me and worked with me, and right here a while ago, not very long ago now. What is it, a year and a half?
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Yep. He was one great guy. As I say, he gave up everything after he went to retirement from the FBI and moved to Nebraska, lived in one of my houses. I'll tell you lots more when we talk next week, okay? I promise.
All right. Thank you so much. Sorry you had that emergency. We'll talk for a full hour next Monday or Tuesday, hopefully on Skype. Thank you, Senator John DeCamp.
Got it.
Thank you. Yeah, folks, most of the old interviews are being pulled. We don't have a big crew, a big staff. But if everybody can go find the Alex Jones interviews, Senator John DeCamp interviews, there's probably 6 or 7 of them out there. I remember the interviews. And when I saw the Red Dirt Report with quotes of him years ago talking about stuff, I went and looked and tried to find some of them, and I can't remember which interviews it was, but I remember him going, the Catholic Church, Boys Town, Penn State, Pennsylvania, how he traveled to Pennsylvania. And obviously, I knew that, he was in lawsuits with people that had been convicted of this stuff, and they were still suing. And, of course, he's won 3 of those. He's won them all. So I was like, whoa, let's not get into... Because even though I knew he was a credible guy, imagine you're hearing Penn State football program. So we've got to dig that audio up of that radio show. It was multiple interviews with Senator John DeCamp. 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 10. I haven't interviewed DeCamp probably in 6 years or so because it's very dangerous to interview him. It's one of the things you start getting death threats over. It's not that I'm even scared of those. It's just something that people aren't ready to believe, but maybe now they are. I mean, the dead bodies dumped outside Bohemian Grove, the little kids getting grabbed. These are monsters, ladies and gentlemen. These are monsters. And, DeCamp said he was going to go public and disprove it. And he hired a well-known retired police detective who was a well-known private investigator. They blew his plane up. They killed a bunch of other people. I mean, they were killing them left and right. The FBI came in and took all the police investigation photos of what was being run by these people. And you find out about this stuff. There's a reason you don't want a big government. And there's a reason you don't want it to have this national security stuff. I mean, look at the UN. Type in UN sex trade, UN child sex trade. I mean, it's literally thousands of BBC, Reuters, New York Times, but it's like back of the paper. I mean, there are photos all over the web of the UN torturing small children to death, roasting them over fires. You think I'm joking, just type UN torturing children. And you're like, why, though? It's because they like it. I mean, this is what they do, and they have diplomatic immunity. And God help us, because, right here, I mean, so much. When I get to camp on for a full hour next week, I will get into all that. But he knew about the Texas Youth Commission. I mean, I remember like 5 years ago when the Texas Youth Commission stuff came out, it was like, judges and police and the locals would go to the big juvenile justice centers and go pick the kid out they wanted, and they were having gladiatory battles, and this was admitted, and then no one got in trouble. I mean, can you imagine pulling up to a juvenile justice thing with a bunch of kids you've grabbed, most cases for no reason, and then these weirdos go creeping around and go into the different jail cells, and then no one gets in trouble. It's a child brothel. And that came out in the state police reports. That came out with the witnesses and all of it, and then just got shut down. Just got completely shut down. And the state police and the old culture they had here in Texas were more friendly and professional. Now you go down to the Capitol, a lot of them are so rude, so hateful. It's like being in D.C. or something. They want you to know you're scum. And I've talked to some of the old-timers. I said, man, things have changed. They said, yeah, and I can't even talk to you. You bet they've changed. This country's been taken over by evil. I mean, folks, I hate to get back on this subject over and over again, but 50-plus million, 51, 52 million babies have been killed in this country. Over 1 million of them just in the last decade who were 7, 8, 9 months. I mean, they could deliver the baby. No one tells the woman, hey, there's a huge line, for kids of any color, race, for people that want to adopt them. No one even tells them, oh, there are charities that will pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars to have the child and then adopt it out to a good family. That's why people that are adopting import children. No one tells them that there's actually more people that want to adopt than that are having abortions, because they've got that quota to kill kids. I mean, we kill kids and say they're not humans. A government that's into this, a system that's into this, these are sick people. And the average grassroots person says, oh, it's not a human, it's just my choice. They're not consciously evil, but they're involved in something massively corrupt. And if you've been involved in that, as long as you are sorry for it and try to wake up others, I understand you've got guilt out there, so you're going to stick with your bad decision and defend it because you don't want to admit you're wrong. But the freedom lies in repenting. And if you don't believe in God, repent to the universe. Repent to that child you chopped up. Why don't you go to the local butcher and watch him chopping up a cow, chopping up a chicken. When they get there, those babies struggle and try to get away, and they just come in, hack, hack, hack. Oh, you don't want to hear that? Well, they want to outlaw showing dead babies. Of course, now they want to kill kids up to age 3. Of course they want to euthanize old people. Why does every culture get psychos in control? Look at every other civilization. These evil people get in control, and Katie barred the door. Your call's coming up.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? The freedom to choose, the freedom to vote, the freedom to worship. How about the freedom to take control of your own future? My friends at eFoods Direct are celebrating freedom this month while helping you take control of your greatest dependency, food. Right now, you receive one of their new Patriot Packs free with every $289 you spend on their highly nutritious and great-tasting food. The Patriot Pack is a 30-day supply of eFoods quick fix, easy-to-store food. For example, purchase a 1-year supply and get 5 Patriot Packs, which is 5 months of food free. Use the extra food for everyday use and save hundreds off your grocery bill. Give your free Patriot Pack as a gift to a friend or relative, or simply add more food to your long-term supply for free. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and get your free Patriot Pack with purchase. Operators are standing by. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. eFoods is so affordable. The more you store and eat, the more you save. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633 right now.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
All right, I'm going to get into a bunch of news we haven't covered yet. After I talk to 5 or 6 more entrepreneurs, we open the phones up for entrepreneurs to respond to Obama saying, you're nothing. You didn't do a business. You're not successful because you worked hard. You don't even deserve any of the credit, basically. And you're like, man, that's really attacking the American dream, the American system. I mean, look at the welfare system. Look at what it creates. Look at the cities run by the globalists. They're hellholes. It seems over the top, but that's what North Korea teaches. It's what Communist China teaches. It's what Fidel Castro teaches. It's what Hugo Chavez teaches. It's what the universities teach. And it's what the big mega monopoly banks and corporations teach. It's what they want. It's what they want to push. Now, I want to show you an article here that I just got during the break, but I'm very familiar with these type of hit pieces. And I'm going to get an article written about this at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com by Paul Watson, probably is who I'll call to do a blurb on this. So in the next hour or so, we'll get a report out on this, or the next 2 hours or so. But we'll also link to it right now at Infowars.com. It's out of Think Progress, one of the fake liberal channels. And we'll show people a document cam shot of that, poses as a gatekeeper. Now, this is like Media Matters, funded by George Soros, weekly meetings with the White House, saying they would infiltrate alternative media and destroy them from the inside. Criminal activity. I mean, like a foreign government. Racketeering that they would get in and destroy. Now, remember, they write articles about us at all these big so-called liberal sites saying world government doesn't exist. Obama being corrupt doesn't exist. None of this is real. Vaccines are good for you. Anwar al-Awlaki didn't hang out at the Pentagon, even though that's Fox News, Associated Press. Basically, I'm crazy. But they constantly write articles that I hardly ever cover. Harping. Media Matters, you name it. And I'll show folks a shot of this right now if you're watching at PrisonPlanet.tv. If not, just type in report. Drudge funneled at least 30 million visitors to conspiracy websites in the last year. And I look at where they claim they got that data, and I don't, if they count WorldNet Daily and InfoWars as the two sites, that's not really true. So they don't really even explain how they get this data. But it says the Drudge Report links to conspiracy websites. And it goes on to say that Drudge drives more traffic than any other outfit out there. And that's been reported on, more than Facebook, Twitter combined. And so because he drives so much to mainstream media that people are scared to expose his unsavory activities. They actually say that in here. They say because he's so big, the impact of Drudge support is reflected by public data from Quantcast. I don't even get how that explains it, typically. And then it goes on to break down the entire thing. It says, according to media sources regularly linked to by Drudge, a single link on Drudge Report can easily drive 200,000 and sometimes as many as 500,000 page views in an article. But that's not the real power of Drudge. All the media watches it and all of talk radio, and so they're too lazy to go out and look other places, and Drudge really has a hand on the zeitgeist of what is interesting. And, I mean, I go there before he started linking to me 5 years ago every day. I go to a bunch of sites, but I go there because Drudge is really on it. I mean, if something's breaking, he's got it up there. He and his small team. And so the lazy, uncreative dinosaur media, they go to the Drudge Report. So the real power isn't just the traffic he sends you. It's the lensing effect. I'd say 3-4 times the traffic. Of course, these idiots don't understand that. That's why they don't have a lot of traffic. They're legends in their own mind. They're getting more attention here than they've ever had. Then it gets all the media to start reporting on what you're doing. And I remember 3 years ago, Drudge started linking to our articles about them groping women and children and going in the pants. The TSA came out and said that's a conspiracy theory. InfoWars is evil on their blog. It doesn't exist. More videos came out showing it. They got caught lying. But you see, the old dinosaur media, the George Soros media, cannot stand the fact that they can't dominate debate. I mean, Drudge links to everything. To the Russian news, to the Japanese news, to the British news, to the Mexican news, to the U.S. news. It's just news, a great aggregate of what's going on. I mean, you think the mainstream media could recreate that, but they can't help it. They want to control everything. They want to show a limited spectrum. People have discovered that. Drudge links to us and others because he understands it's interesting. It's a lot of breaking news. We try to be accurate compared to dinosaur media, and we're in the zeitgeist as well. So what you see on Drudge is the zeitgeist. One of the best representations of it, if not the best, out there. And it's one thing to be able to be in the zeitgeist now. What about for 16, 17, 18 years? And I'm not just going into a Drudge worship fest here. The point is, Drudge is a trailblazer, first linking to us probably 8, 9 years ago, but our servers couldn't handle it. Like a parrot testing the perch. We couldn't handle the traffic and didn't link to us. Tried again later. The last 5 years, Drudge has linked to us hundreds of times, and it has really helped us to fight the globalist, exposing documents law enforcement sends us saying veterans are terrorists. Confirmed documents. Well, Drudge waited 3 or 4 days till the government admitted those were real. He linked to us. First media, big outlet to do it. Was I a conspiracy theorist because I broke secret documents? No. I was doing what real journalists do. I'm a talk show host. I give commentary. I give analysis. I give my opinion. But I also give you breaking original news. In video, audio, text, guest, you name it. You know, I gave you 15 years ago that there was pedophile stuff going on at Penn State. And it trailblazed so much with my guest, I'd forgotten that. I was a conspiracy theorist 15 years ago. DeCamp, 20 years ago, saying the Catholic Church had networks of pedophiles taking it over. He was called a conspiracy theorist. Now it's mainstream news. The difference is we're trailblazers. We're telling you the earth is round. We're telling you that the earth is at the center of the universe. You get locked up for that, folks, when you're first to say it. So what's happening here is they're absolutely in their death throes, floundering around. And I mean, imagine, White House-funded, run, controlled Media Matters sits there as a nonpartisan, tax-free entity operating as if they sit there and tell you what is and what isn't, and then they panic that something like DrudgeReport.com is legitimizing to a great extent what we do. Well, no. We've legitimized what we do, and Drudge doesn't like tyranny as well and is more and more covering what we do. But let me give you a news flash. We've been on XM for over now 3 years. We're on over 115 AM and FM affiliates. I've been on the cover of Talkers Magazine and all the other big publications. I've been in Rolling Stone, Nightline, MSNBC. You can't ignore us. It's the implication that you're gatekeepers over here, and then you're going to tell Drudge what he's going to do, as if even if you guys were able to manipulate something down the road, as if you've stopped us, as if anything you've done has stopped us. I'm hiring 6 reporters right now. I just hired 6 graphics people. I'm hiring more IT people. I'm taking the money that comes in here and putting it right back out because my passion is news and information and truth and defending this republic. I'm one of those bitter clingers Obama talks about. I'm one of those free market entrepreneurs for liberty. I'm one of those people that works 18 hours a day. I'm one of those people that has electricity in my mind and a sparkle in my eye. Okay? And you don't like it. So you sit there and take your foundation funding, your globalist banker, takeover, collaborator media, and you sit there and gatekeep all you want. You're not stopping jack crap. You got that? Excuse me. Excuse me. It's a family show. Okay? It's how pathetic and servile and traitorous you are. Hey, have you read the Financial Times of London or Newsweek telling us world government's here, run by bankers? Everybody's heard me for 17 years say global government in the form of bankers through derivatives and carbon taxes was coming. How'd I know? They wrote white papers on it. Everybody heard me talk about Agenda 21 17 years ago. Everybody heard me talk about all this. Okay, so don't sit there up on your perch and tell everybody that you're the gatekeeper and you control reality like Karl Rove said. Guys, will you print me the Karl Rove quote about history's actors, please? In front of the New York Times and Washington Post, he goes, it doesn't matter what reality is. You do what we say. The public does what we say. We can tell you the earth's flat tomorrow and you'll believe it. Well, not me. Do you understand George Soros? Do you understand? It's unbelievable. Conservatively, Drudge drove over 30 million page views to WorldNet Daily and InfoWars in the last year. Since these sites derive their income from displaying advertisements and selling products to web visitors, Drudge is certainly an important, if not essential, source of income for conspiracy theorists. You idiots. If you ever attack me as a frontal assault, I could raise $5 million in one day. We're not funded by George Soros, you twit. See, you're trying to make Matt Drudge George Soros. In your little mind, you some big robber baron sugar daddy. He's not a big robber baron sugar daddy. Drudge some weeks has driven 30% of the traffic on Infowars.com. Usually it's about 10%. But we don't just have Infowars. We have Twitter. We have more than 10 Facebook pages with more than 800,000 likes. We have hundreds of millions of views every few months on YouTube and other platforms. We've got, as you see them, tentacles. You see liberty as a cancer? Let me give you a little news flash. We've metastasized everywhere. That's why the globalists haven't killed me. They figured that out at the higher management level than you twits. Okay? There's no shutting the signal down, scum. We're not funded by one sugar daddy. You understand that? We're funded by the listeners of this show. You know, I didn't plug products last hour. Most radio shows, every segment plug a sponsor. We could take unlimited sponsors right now and have a little 30-second plug during each segment. It would bring in $5 million a year. Do you hear me doing it? You ought to thank your little globalist crony New World Order stars that I haven't even tried to raise money. But by the way, I am going into that phase now because I need to get the reporters and the crew and the people to go to the next level. You know what makes me happier than a pig in mud? That Rob Dew and Mike Adams did a report together with admissions of troops training to confiscate guns traitorously. And it's better than I would have probably done on a one-off, and it's going viral right now. Troops training to kill Americans who refuse to turn in guns. It's going viral right now. And you know how beautiful that is? Not so I can sit at home once I get all these reporters in place, but so that even if you kill me, it just keeps going and going. Because the goal here isn't about hanging out in New York and going to the cool parties or L.A. like you little toads do and go up to the bankers and, you know, maybe get a grant or some banker money. The goal here is to win civilization back for humanity. The goal is to defeat you. The goal is for liberty in our time again. The goal is to not be slaves to a Soviet globalist bankster collective that wants a worldwide North Korean type system. It's liberty versus dark age, freedom versus bondage and humiliation. We're not going away. We're committed, and nothing is going to shut us down except God. You got that? Nothing will stop the signal. You killed me. People see through it. Increases our power. You set me up. People see through it. Increases the power of liberty. You attack us. People recognize it and instinctively defend us. You didn't bankrupt the economy fast enough. You didn't destroy the small business and middle class fast enough. They now discovered who you are. Think how stupid you look in all these articles. I mean, they write articles, folks, at Media Matters saying, Jones is insane, there are no drones. Jones is insane, there's no checkpoints. Jones is insane, there's no world government. Jones is insane, the NSA isn't spying on you. Jones is insane, they're not putting cancer viruses in the vaccines when it's all over. I mean, you people are a stinking joke. You know, I've seen Media Matters with their media center with, 50-something people. They can't put the work out of two of my crew. They don't get any traffic. Guys, show them MSNBC. Show people, this is Alexa.com, just one of the rating systems, okay? Let me show you Infowars.com, just one of our tentacles as you see them, okay? That is in the last week, last 7 days on the graph. Infowars.com gets roughly 2 to 3 times the traffic of MSNBC.com. And by the way, we're always slow this time of summer. This is a bad time for us, good time for them. Let's show you 1 month. Oh, sometimes we're getting 6 times the traffic they're getting. Take me to the 3 months, please. Look at that. Show them the maximum. Yeah. Go to 2 years. Oh, MSNBC. MSNBC.com makes hundreds of millions a year, and they're tiny compared to Infowars.com. Now, show them what they really hate. Show them DrudgeReport.com. Go down to the bottom. There's little boxes. Add DrudgeReport.com right there, and click compare. If you're watching on TV, you can go do this yourself. This is what they're angry about. Then put in think progress. They mean progress of their Soviet collective takeover compared to the Drudge Report. This is a flea telling an elephant what to do. And then you back out and you click compare exactly. This is what they're angry about. This is what they don't like. And as you can see, Drudge is, quote, down just because less people are carrying Alexa algorithm. If you go to the Google algorithms, our sites are actually up. And also the summer is a slower time. But the point is, and things are driven to Twitter and Facebook more, which we're gigantic on. If I could show you our Facebook numbers, our Facebook, one of our Facebooks that we don't even update hardly, has almost as much traffic as InfoWars every day. We don't even make any money off of it. Here, go ahead and put it back. We're not even trying to make money. Okay, we're in the free market. We can go out there and right now raise all the money we need, you dumb twits. We don't need some George Soros sitting there, giving us some banker bailout money he got from taxpayers. We don't take anything from taxpayers. We have people that freely, through free association, decide to buy the books, the videos, the T-shirts, all of them. So there, look at MSNBC in red down there. That's MSNBC compared to Drudge. And they're constantly telling Drudge who he should link to and what he should do. Because they're God. They said they were important. And you know what? There's still a few people. Well, most of their shows have about 200,000 viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say we have 3 million listeners a day on radio, that is a conservative number. That is rated stations that buy Arbitron. About half our stations don't subscribe to Arbitron or to the instant people meter systems. So that's, let's say it's probably more like 5 million a day. Rated, because we have ad agency aggregates. That's how Genesis, GCN goes out and sells ads. 3 million, that's like a year ago. I haven't even checked. We don't even sell advertisers on that. 3 million a day. MSNBC's top shows have 800,000 and plunging. You're dying, we're growing. Your time is over. So you're desperately running around telling us small businesses are bad and communism and world government's good, and you'll probably stage terror attacks, you globalists, try to make us love you. So there you go. I mean, you heard it. George Soros run groups say Drudge, Matt Drudge, you stop what you're doing right now. George Soros said so. Do you understand, mister? He says so. A foreigner who collaborated with the Nazis publicly tells you what you better do. And, of course, he supports Obama, who wants re-education camps. These are authoritarians.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that Carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, Carnivora capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
Healthy soils grow healthy plants. So before you plant your survival garden this year, is your soil healthy? Maximize your crisis garden soil with EM1 from Terraganics. EM1 Organic Soil Conditioner, Fertilizer Amendment, and Compost Accelerant provides healthier gardens and faster, efficient garden composting. EM1 from Terraganics.com quickly improves soil structure by increasing nutrient availability and converting organic matter into soil humus. This improves seed germination and root growth, improves plant quality, size, color, flavor, nutrient value of fruits and vegetables, and improves shelf life. And when rain is not in the forecast, no worries. EM1 improves moisture retention in soils, helping reduce drought stress. Just like you prepare all else, prepare your crisis garden for maximum yields with EM1 from Terraganics.com. Order now at TERAGANIX.com or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Terraganics. Life's getting better.
Would it save you time to get the best quality water filters and the best quality storable foods from one company? You bet it would, and now you can at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Big Berkey water filter products and great tasting, long-lasting, storable Wise foods are both now available on one website, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Wise foods, ready-to-eat meals are packed in airtight nitrogen pouches and come with a 25-year shelf life. Big Berkey water filters are powerful enough to purify purified treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. Combine Berkey water filters with Wise Foods for an unbeatable preparedness combination. Get free shipping on every order over $50. And GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit Big, BERKEY, waterfilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Or go to BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com.
Way up north to Alaska. Way up north to Alaska. North to Alaska. Go north for Russia's home. North to Alaska. Go north for Russia's home.
All right, I want to talk to some evil entrepreneurs. If you just joined us, Obama has said that you didn't do anything. I mean, you're worthless. Government, he says, created everything. And you're like, really? Yeah, I'll play the clip again later coming up. But just briefly, I want to thank all of our enemies and those that send hack attacks against us and those that try to tell media outlets to not link to our stories because they want to try to control reality. I want to tell you something. You don't control reality, and people are waking up to you very, very quickly. But it is important for people to not just financially support us by buying T-shirts, books, videos, and things at InfoWarsShop.com or water filters, all the best products there, but to spread the word about the broadcast. That's where we really get the word out. Don't let George Soros and Think Progress and the White House responding to our stories about them shutting down power plants, saying we're liars. Don't let them even attempt to silence us, because that's where they want to take this with their media takeover switches, their internet kill switches. They're a bunch of crooks that are running this federal government. And they know they're going to prison if we continue to get the word out on them, like Nicolas Sarkozy over in France. They're not invincible. We can beat these people, but you've got to take action. So prisonplanet.com, prisonplanet.tv. Get a 15-day free trial right now at prisonplanet.tv. 15 cents a day. Sign up for 15 days, try it. Support us. We're not like the IRS that comes with a gun to take your money to give it to foreign banks that George Soros owns so he can then come give it to traitorous groups here to demonize the founding fathers in America and entrepreneurs. I mean, they're a bunch of just absolute scurvy rats who've never lived in the real world, who are a bunch of authoritarian parasites strutting around saying they're liberals. They're not liberals. They're tyrants. Tyrants! Make me sick. You love North Korea. You love to walk around in uniforms like the North Koreans. You love control. You people, just because everybody hated you growing up. Nobody wants to be around you. You're losers. So you get together in big combines, big gangs. That's what you are, is gangs. Filthy gangs. I'm sorry. Steve's been holding, and then we'll get to Aaron and Brett and Doris and Ralph's up for that. Steve in North Carolina, you're on the air. Thanks for holding. Are you an evil entrepreneur?
Alex, great show, of course. One evil entrepreneur speaking to another evil entrepreneur. You know, they don't also take the fact that we take out thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars of our own money, our savings, our whole life.
No. You risk it all. You do it all. You hire people. You're bad. You're bad. Hey, this is North Korea, buddy. This is how North Korea is.
And I've got a good T-shirt slogan for you. I didn't build my own debt. The government did. How about that?
It's awesome. Well, I mean, it's a total... The same trader media sits there and tells you the debt's all yours when most of it's corporate welfare.
Right. I mean, you know, you spend tens of thousands of dollars, and who's bailing the small business guy out, you know? Who is? No, nobody. I paid up my entire way through college, 100% of my own expenses, didn't get any government loans, took all my whole life savings, and usually 80% of us fail. And then, you know, we've got our own debt to pay. So
90%. It's right at 90% of new.
Okay, there you go.
No. 90%. No, I was about to say 90% of all new jobs, new hires are small business. Small business drives everything. And so Obama and the globalists want to sabotage the country. What do they go after? They got rid of our industry, and so we'd be service. Now they're going after the service because they've got to bring you down, so you've got to get a check from them. And because of automation and all this, they believe they're going to be able to produce enough baubles to keep people happy. And the only new growth industry is going to be thugs to enforce all this. God bless you, fellow terrorists. Yeah, I mean, look, FEMA says, I'm not joking, the Founding Fathers are terrorists. Okay, of course, they're the terrorists, the globalists.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We're going to look at drones with Rosalind Peterson of Skywatch. She was supposed to be on last week, but she picked her phone up, and there were people, phone company, working on it or something. So we'll see if that happens again. Probably just an accident that's happened to me before. The government's tapping your phone. They call up and tell you they're going to kill you and your family, and that they were just listening to your phone conversation, so you know it's the government. Whistleblower, NSA analyzing conversations in real time. And that's mainstream news. Totally illegal. Everything you do in live time with computers you paid for. You have any idea how much that cost? Oh, man. And that's so if a good FBI agent or good state police are about to bust narcotics trafficking, child kidnapping by the rest of the government, that they suddenly get arrested or stopped or killed. In fact, the state police in Texas wondered how, with the youth commission and the government rape rooms, little kids, how the pedos knew what they were doing before they even went out to do something. Because the pedos run the NSA, folks. It's the kingdom of the pedo. Hadn't figured that out yet? Aaron in Nevada, you're on the air. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Alex. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a little alt media thing I'm trying to do, and I just wanted to clear up one thing, please. You thought it was me calling in Eric from Colorado or something a couple months ago or a month ago or something.
I'm not talking to you anymore, buddy. Okay, get off my show. I'm taking calls from entrepreneurs. Let's talk to Brent in Louisiana. You're on the air, Brent. Go ahead.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, Alex.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, working hard every day, building beautiful things.
Well, I mean, tell us about your evil. Obama says you're filth.
I came down to Louisiana after the hurricanes to help these people get back into their homes. I've been here ever since. But I am a free American. I report none of my activities to any registering or taxing bureau because my private contracts are private between citizens.
We need more of that. We need to because this system's illegitimate. And if something's unconstitutional, just don't follow it. That's my personal view. That's what I'm starting to do.
Yes, sir, I agree. I pay no income tax. I cannot morally support that when they use my money to strafe half the world with bullets and kill all kinds of people.
Well, all the money goes to foreign banks. Ronald Reagan's own commission found that.
Oh, yes, sir, the Blue Ribbon Panel. Yes, sir, I'm very aware. I am on your Planet InfoWars. A shout-out to that. It is a great place to hook up. I've found a lot of people here in Louisiana, FEMA Region 6 that are also fellow activists. I do have a side hobby. trying to end the warrantless checkpoints in my area. I'm out there with my sign, peaceably protesting everyone I can find.
Oh, you're even worse than an entrepreneur. You're engaging in the American pastime of the First Amendment as well. Man, I bet Obama isn't too pleased with you because you didn't do nothing. Going up, knocking on doors, selling business, doing a good job as a carpenter, busting your butt. All that. How dare you, you lazy? You ought to be totally unhappy on welfare, taking Prozac. Then you'd be a real citizen, you piece of trash.
A single dollar of welfare, food stamps, disability, or Social Security, I never will. I will not subscribe to that system. I am only obligated to obey the laws of the one true and God, and Obama is not him.
Well, that's sacrilege. Get that heathen off here right now, boy. You don't engage in that type of... Romans 13 is taught in all the major churches now. He is our Lord, our King, and our loving Savior. You will do what he says immediately. How dare you? We got Rosalind Peterson on for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'm going to get to evil entrepreneurs like Ralph and Marty and Doris and Jason and other. Just phones are open for entrepreneurs. And I understand if you're a bureaucrat or government person, you don't know what that is. But 800-259-9231. I never knew I was so dirty and bad. My brain just burns with all these different ideas and art I want to do. Oil painting, photo shoots, films, work, pieces, comedy thing. I'm just evil. Government. North Korea saved me.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
If you want an American company with American products made by Americans, here is the Cal Ben Soap Company. Alex and his staff have used these pure soap products for years. These all-natural soaps are made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils that are earth-friendly and safe. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog. Buy the 1 to 2 month sample package and enjoy soaps that are twice as good as what you're using now. Or save big with a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. This is an amazing deal. You can save thousands of dollars and you will love the way real soap makes you feel. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
You know, the White House gatekeeper type folks over at Think Progress have written a big article demonizing the wicked Drudge Report and calling for the mainstream dinosaur media to take him to the woodshed for linking to evil websites like Infowars.com. Let me see. What did Drudge link to, just from memory? We had a story about how the military is spraying bug poison on major cities in Florida with links to the military's own admissions and CBS News, and pointed out that the military is taking over more and more civilian roles. I mean, that is news. That is important. That's a real phenomenon. But that's a conspiracy theory because it means they don't want, again, they're gatekeepers. They control reality. When there's a new TSA video out, or we interview a victim and premiere some video of them groping someone, that's the type of thing. I mean, but to them, that's a conspiracy theory. In fact, they say he's linking to conspiracy sites, and it must happen. It must be shut down. Report, Drudge funneled at least 30 million visitors to conspiracy websites in the last year. And it goes on to say that this is a very dark, horrible thing that has to be dealt with. Creating a powerful incentive for mainstream media to overlook the unsavory side of his operation because he gives them so much traffic too. Again, this is the type of gatekeeping garbage. I've been covering geoengineering for 17 years on air. The White House science czar, John P. Holdren, the same guy that says he wants to sterilize you and your family by putting stuff in the water. I mean, he wrote a book saying that. He says they're already geoengineering. There's all these thousands of government reports worldwide admittedly doing it. But then when I talk about it and say it's a bad thing, because the fact that it's going on is public, the details are secret, it's the dissent. It's the fact that I don't want the military running checkpoints on highways because it's not what a free country has. I'm bad because I don't want to have unmanned drones surveilling me illegally and looking in my backyard. In fact, Paul Watson wrote an article yesterday that I guess, according to George Soros funded Think Progress, should not be up there, where another George Soros type, Bill Gates, is giving money to a company to dump tons of sulfur dioxide linked to health problems, autoimmune disorders, you name it, on New Mexico in a geoengineering test. And by the way, that is admitted going on, but it doesn't exist because they said so. Gates funded experiment to spray atmosphere with sulfur particles. Geoengineering threatens to worsen droughts, starve millions. And, of course, they say the Pentagon will use weather as a weapon. But, again, I'm not supposed to talk about that. In fact, scroll down in the article there if you're watching on prisonplanet.tv, and you can see some of the links in there. The London Guardian's reporting on it. But when they report, it's okay. When I report, it doesn't exist. Just like Think Progress and George Soros, other outfits say there is no global government. And if you talk about mega banks taking over, you are evil, even though it's all over the news. Of course, when CNBC covers it, they say it's good. It's bad, though, when I covered it. It's nice to have a big ring around the sun from all the particles they're spraying on us. Aluminum dioxide, barium salts, a lot of the plants dying from the aluminum now. It's a giant secret program that they admit they're doing, but again, I should just shut up. Marine mammals, all the world dying when they have these high-powered sonar tests. I should just shut up. Here's another one. My Taxpayer Money, New American Magazine. Laser-powered drone could remain airborne forever. And it's a big one. Surveilling you. What is about a wingspan of about 15 feet, looks like. Oh, and they could even have lasers on them to blind you if you don't submit. Yeah, let's use our tax money so the government can arm against us. That's a great idea. And have troops domestically, even though the Declaration of Independence says that should be illegal. Everything the Declaration of Independence says how great entrepreneurs are, how bad the bureaucrats can become. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to shut up now and go to our guest. I just wanted to introduce that. She was going to be on last week but had phone trouble. And she joins us now, Rosalind Peterson of California Skywatch. She's the president and co-founder of the Agriculture Defense Coalition. And she just does an amazing job out there. And she's been talking about the geoengineering, laymen call it chemtrailing, since before the government admitted they were doing it. And she joins us now to break down the latest on all of this and how it ties into weather mod drones, what's happening in the oceans, all of this. Joining us right now. Rosalind, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me as a guest on your show today. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with you.
There's so much to talk about. What do you want to get into first? What do you think of Bill Gates now publicly is going to spray sulfur dioxide on us?
Well, heaven help us, because sulfur dioxide, when it comes back down to Earth, is going to cause air pollution, water pollution, acid rains, which are going to destroy our forest lands and agriculture crop production. And when they're talking about enough to have a significant experiment, this is going to be several megatons, I'm sure, because David Keith loves to talk in the form of putting megatons up there, and it can destroy beneficial atmospheric ozone. So I don't get why we are going to stand by and allow Bill Gates and David Keith to pollute our water, to pollute our air, to destroy beneficial atmospheric ozone, just to be able to conduct an experiment. In other words, and they also say, oh, well, we think the public should finance it. So we should. So this was in the New York Times, as they were saying, oh, well, the public should finance it.
Oh, the Council on Foreign Relations came out last year and said geoengineer everything and make us pay taxes to Bill Gates to spray us. He's going to control the hurricanes and stuff. But he's a very loving person. And, of course, what's wrong with burning up the ozone layer? I mean, they admit that's what this does. It's like they're the devil and they want to destroy the planet.
Well, and just who decided that just because Bill Gates happened to get lucky and make some money at Microsoft, that all of a sudden he should play God? I mean, just, that to me irritates the heck out of me, that we have people who just because they have financial money, because they made it and got lucky, that all of a sudden they have become gods and should rule us and decide what kind of environment we should live in.
Well, usually Obama's demonizing entrepreneurs that work hard and usually don't get lucky. It's hard work. But in Bill Gates' case, it actually was getting lucky. They were worried about antitrust laws, so IBM set him up as a front company. They do that a lot. But in the case of Bill Gates, he's actually a national security level operative. That's why he heads all this up. He's actually a above ultra top secret operative.
Whatever it is, he has no right, nor does anybody else have the right, to go up and poison our atmosphere, our air, our water, our soil, and put at risk the atmosphere above us that provides life here on Earth for us. And so any type of geoengineering experiment, I mean, Bill Gates has talked about, they talk about sulfur dioxide because they want to kind of link it to volcanoes and say it's okay. But Bill Gates got on the air just the other day. It's on my geoengineering section of my website. He got on and was talking about putting aluminum oxide up. And his research and studies is not about sulfur dioxide these days. It's actually about putting up aluminum oxide. Well, the Navy is already doing that for us. They put an aluminum oxide dust cloud over the eastern seaboard of the United States, which is coming back down to Earth to contaminate air, water, and soils. It's called the U.S. Navy CARE, Charged Aerosol Release Experiment. It's on the NASA website. They're part of this as well. So we're already doing it. In other words, putting up this aluminum oxide dust cloud.
Rosalind, how do you deal How do you deal with them on C-SPAN writing books, thousands of Department of Energy programs, patents on adding it to jet fuel? The skies, they admit, are 21 to 30% darker worldwide from the trails, the persistent trails. They're doing it. The soils everywhere, as you know, it's coming out, are full of aluminum. They're saying they don't know why the plants aren't growing. They're killing us. I mean, they're already doing this and then saying that they've got to bring in carbon taxes because of climate problems. But all the tests they're doing, when we talk to geoengineers, they say that would cause droughts instead of what they claim trying to cause rain. It looks like they've actually weaponized things already, something Iran claimed 2 days ago.
Well, certainly. And the U.S. Air Force has been working on owning the weather since the 1990s. And to think that they're not going to use weather as a way to coerce other countries into doing what we want, or testing it on the population here to raise food prices. Oh, absolutely. And we've got 66 ongoing weather modification programs ongoing across the United States here. And according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and on top of that, we have 169 weather modification projects going on worldwide. And to say, well, everything is caused by, climate change and warming, well, there's studies now that show that the jets leaving these contrails in our skies are warming us up. It's causing warming in the Arctic and melting in the Arctic. And so when you start to talk about, well, we need to do something about global warming, well, let's take care of the jets and stop the man-made cloud production, which changes our climate. I mean, NASA, Stanford University studies, all of this are very clear that the water vapor released by the jets are warming us up artificially, and that the Alaska melting, so that they can exploit the natural resources like Shell in Alaska and other countries can exploit and drill in the Arctic, is needed because they can't get in if those areas are frozen. Oh, this has political and all kinds of ramifications much further than most people really realize.
But of course, the control freaks want to control the weather. They call it owning the weather. It's a Pentagon document. They admit they're already weather weaponizing. They're attacking us to bankrupt us so Big Agri can come in with these seeds that are aluminum resistant. So no one else's seeds will work. They're salting the earth with aluminum dioxide.
Do you fear losing your home and being on the street? Can't happen to you? Well, think again. Millions of honest, hardworking Americans have had their homes stolen by the banks. There is an answer. The answer is MortgageEndgame.com. Yes, MortgageEndgame.com is the only long-term solution. We have discovered and possess over 11,000 pages of previously unknown court-admissible evidence. The banks have created a massive fraud to make you a renter for life. Paid off your home? Forget about getting your original paperwork. On time every month with your payments? It doesn't matter. Your title is likely clouded and nobody knows who owns your home. You are not alone. Contact MortgageEndgame.com for full details and benefits from participating at no legal cost in the massive assault to achieve redress and damages. MortgageEndgame.com, the only real solution to the mortgage crisis. Call us at 903-962-9070 or visit us at MortgageEndgame.com.
Attention, information in this 1-minute message could save your life. Don't wait for the next emergency to happen. Act now to be prepared. Now, more than ever, civilians and communities must communicate with family, friends, and neighbors in the event of civil unrest, natural disasters, or other emergencies. That's why there's CivilDispatch.com. CivilDispatch.com is a universal system that can be used for a wide array of urgent notification alerts, weather emergencies, civil unrest, emergency responders, Amber Alerts, school or business closings, any need-to-know situation. CivilDispatch.com is an emergency dispatch communication system, allowing anyone to quickly and easily send and instantaneously track emergency email and text alert notifications. CivilDispatch.com gives you the power of enterprise alerting without the enterprise cost. Don't find yourself unprepared. Learn more and become a member at CivilDispatch.com. That's CivilDispatch.com. Civilian Emergency Dispatch System. Peace through preparedness.
We all know there are secrets behind closed doors in every relationship, and one of the biggest is that men are losing libido, or sexual desire, especially if you're a man over 40. The problem could be declining testosterone levels. Remember, it's testosterone that makes a man in every way. That's why we created T-Gen. T-Gen is an all-natural formula with ingredients proven to boost your own testosterone. Optimum testosterone levels mean better mood, energy, and of course, better sex life. And now, for the first time, you can try T-Gen absolutely free for 30 days. Just pay shipping today and see the incredible results for yourself. Call 800-577-8644. 800-577-8644. T-Gen works, or you simply don't pay. For your 30-day free trial, call 800-577-8644. 800-577-8644. In a study of exercising men using the ingredient in T-Gen, 85% reported an improvement in sexual desire. Don't wait. Call now. Call 800-577-8644. 800-577-8644.
Are you still a traditional smoker? Now experience a new lifestyle and try vaping with e-cigarettes by LeSig. Imagine no ashes, stains, nasty smell, or coughing and hacking. With LeSig e-cigarettes' revolutionary microelectronic technology, rechargeable battery, and unique replaceable cartridge, you'll get all the benefits and satisfaction of smoking without the hazards. Choose your taste from a wide variety of our new American-made vape-free e-liquids at LeSig.com. And LeSig smokes the competition by serving thousands of worldwide customers with real people customer service, fast, free, same-day shipping, and a 30-day warranty and satisfaction guarantee. So are you ready for a new vaping lifestyle? Then call 870-518-4307. That's 870-518-4307. Or visit LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes for today's modern smoker.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a going dry. The interest is up and the stock market's down, and you're only getting mugged if you go downtown.
Yeah, but if you think you're going to grow some food in that backyard, not for long. The aluminum's going up.
I live back in the
Don't worry, Big Agra's got new seeds that can grow in aluminum. What a business plan.
I got a shotgun, a rifle, and a four-wheel drive, and a country boy can survive.
Well, they got drones for that.
Country folks can survive.
And the best part is you're going to pay for it all with your tax money.
I can plow a field all day.
Oh, no, you
long.
can't.
I can catch cat.
They have the new EPA enforcers, anti-dust. Multi-$1,000 fines, including hay dust.
Make our own whiskey and our own smoke, too.
Oh, the rural commissions are going to inspect and stop that with the animal ID, premises ID.
We grow good old tomatoes and
all right, that's enough for me. Oh, but here's the best part. Crank it up right here and we'll go to our guest.
Country folks can survive.
There's one thing left. It's our guns. They're going to get those too. Don't you worry.
Because you can't starve us out and you can't make us run. Those William old boys raised on shotguns.
Bitter clingers. We say grace. We say amen. Let's go back to our guest. Good old Hank Williams Jr. Rosalind Peterson, give out your websites. There's so much more on those, and continue what the first and foremost threat is, because, you know, they've gone from denying all this to just, yeah, we're going to be spraying you in your town. Yeah, we're going to control the climate now. We're not going to tell you the details. We're going to spray some aluminum on you, but just sit down and shut up. And by the way, Fukushima's good for you.
I absolutely agree with you. This is not going down the right path at all, in any direction. And, you know, what bothers me here is, how did the Air Force get into the business of spraying to kill mosquitoes with C-130 aircraft?
It's all conditioning us.
But look at what they're putting on us. They're putting on us a carcinogen. Not a possible carcinogen, a listed carcinogen, especially for men, but a carcinogen. And they're spraying it to kill mosquitoes. Now, think about this. What they're spraying is toxic to birds, fish. It's toxic to all of the natural predators of mosquitoes, so it's going to kill the natural predators off, and it's going to give everyone sprayed cancer, because eventually you're going to be breathing this, your kids will breathe it, people are going to get sick. And here's the label for dibrome, or NALED, which the Air Force is spraying on Florida as we speak. Says, emergency overview, danger, poison, corrosive, clear amber liquid with a sharp, pungent odor that causes irreversible eye and skin damage, may be fatal if swallowed, inhaled or absorbed through the skin and eyes. Rapidly absorbed through the skin, repeated irritation or skin contact may, without symptoms, progressively increase susceptibility to organophosphate poisoning. May be an aspiration hazard, may cause an allergic reaction. The product is combustible and toxic to fish, birds, and other wildlife. Now just look at what they're spraying on the residents of Florida with a C-130 cargo plane that can spray an unlimited amount of this chemical over everything. And they're spraying your homes, your backyards. They're spraying everything. And
but it's because they never did it before, but now they are, and it's no big deal. Aluminum, barium, radioactive isotopes, bug poison. I mean, they are loving us right now.
Well, sure, because we're putting up with it, and we're just being their guinea pigs for their experiments.
Well, you know, cancer and Alzheimer's and all the other diseases are off the charts. I mean, we ought to, like Obama said, everything good comes from government. And I think, Rosalind Peterson, that you should get down on your knees and thank them for chemtrailing you right now.
Why is that?
Well, you're not an extremist, are you?
No, but I object to being poisoned without having a say in what they're doing. I object to being subjected to some company having me have genetically modified mosquitoes and that are going to infect us and kill the population.
Now. It's not that bad.
It isn't?
No, I mean, so what if pediatric cancer is up over 10,000% and breast cancer up over 2,000%. I mean, so what if people are dying left and right? I mean, so they did secret testing on troops thousands of times, killing them with nerve gas. Rosalind, I mean, these are good people running things. You didn't hear Obama's speech where he said everything good comes from the government?
Well, not that particular one, no.
All right, listen, let's get into sonar. You've been looking heavily into that. They're not only helping us, they're helping the marine mammals and releasing GMO salmon that will extinct the other ones, they admit. So there's more good news straight ahead. Thank you, Obama. Thank you, New World Order.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Let me ask you a question. What does freedom mean to you? The freedom to choose, the freedom to vote, the freedom to worship. How about the freedom to take control of your own future? My friends at eFoods Direct are celebrating freedom this month while helping you take control of your greatest dependency, food. Right now, you receive one of their new Patriot Packs free with every $289 you spend on their highly nutritious and great-tasting food. The Patriot Pack is a 30-day supply of eFoods quick fix, easy-to-store food. For example, purchase a 1-year supply and get 5 Patriot Packs, which is 5 months of food free. Use the extra food for everyday use and save hundreds off your grocery bill. Give your free Patriot Pack as a gift to a friend or relative, or simply add more food to your long-term supply for free. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex and get your free Patriot Pack with purchase. Operators are standing by. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. eFoods is so affordable. The more you store and eat, the more you save. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633 right now. Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure. But if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
If you want an American company with American products made by Americans, here is the Cal Ben Soap Company. Alex and his staff have used these pure soap products for years. These all-natural soaps are made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils that are earth-friendly and safe. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog. Buy the 1 to 2 month sample package and enjoy soaps that are twice as good as what you're using now. Or save big with a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. This is an amazing deal. You can save thousands of dollars and you will love the way real soap makes you feel. See them on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091 for a free catalog.
He aligns himself with the truth, and it's time for you to choose a side. You're listening to Alex Jones.
Chaos is hanging around. Put your ear to the ground and shut it from the sound. The death machine ain't slowing down. It's gaining pound for pound. A gas mask is the couture in the summer of rage. They're building mass graves within the states. You and I, they'll vaccinate. They're preparing us for an all-out police state.
That's right, Shooter Jennings. Now your daddy's proud of you, looking down from Valhalla. By the way, I want to get Shooter Jennings back on the show. We're very close from getting a super iconic country legend on the show who is a listener. So look for that very, very soon. And Dave Mustaine's coming to visit me this weekend here in Austin. We're good friends. He comes and visits every few months. Might get a special interview with him on a bunch of subjects. Who knows? Not name dropping, but it is important to name drop a bit because it shows so many famous and popular people are tuned in or are tuning into reality. The awakening's happening, and those are bellwethers. We're going to go back to our guest here in just a moment. We're going to have the head of the American Small Business Bureau. Will you guys give me his bio, please? Thank you. Coming on the show briefly at the end to give us his take on Obama's statements about entrepreneurs are the problem, not the solution. Government lays the golden eggs. Even the Easter Bunny is sent out by the government. Everything, Santa Claus as well. But, you know, notice that George Soros funded Think Progress and Media Matters are all freaking out that Drudge links to Infowars.com and tells the media to take him to task as if that will punish Drudge. You can't take him to task. All Drudge does is link to a wide spectrum of news, government documents, whatever it is. I mean, it's an aggregating site. There's nothing you can take away from him. I mean, all you do with demonizing him is make him cooler because you guys are so uncool, so untrusted, so disliked that when you attack somebody, that's the seal of approval. And you figure that out. That's why you've got internet kill switches and re-education centers set up. And you're very upset. It scares you that any day we can put an article out at Infowars.com and you can't gatekeep it. Even if Drudge wasn't there, our listeners are able to punch stuff out and get it out there. Drudge supercharges that. And they talk about how horrible it is that this is funding Infowars. Really, it's a small part of it, but you can believe it's a big part of it if you want. What's funding it is subscriptions to PrisonPlanet.tv. Let me just give you a little news flash. Sponsors on radio. You know, we're on hundreds of radio stations and sponsors on internet and books and videos and things we sell. And then anytime I need to, I don't like to, government loves to come give you a new tax and force you at gunpoint to do something. We can go to our listeners and get money, which, you know, we're going to do a money bomb this year because, you know, we need to hire more people, get stuff running better. So don't worry. For all detractors, we'll do a big 48-hour marathon. Well, who wants to go 24 hours straight? We'll go 48 hours, live broadcast. And I'm gonna use this for fundraising here, the fact that you want to shut our funding off. And I predict this year, even though we're in the engineered depression, will be one of the big, I bet we're going to get double any previous money bomb. Because I'm just going to point out you don't want us around. How do you like that? See, George Soros gets banker bailout money and government contract money. I've analyzed it, and then goes and funds anti-American globalist takeovers. We just sit here to the American people and say, if you support us, buy our books and videos at InfoWarsShop.com. Now, I'm pretty wound up today, Rosalind Peterson. I know you come on the nightly news quite a bit and just do invaluable work. In 3 or 4 minutes finishing up here, and we look forward to getting you back on the news commercial-free soon. Tell us about the websites, the sonar issues, what else you're looking at, because I don't know anybody out there more on, you know, the skywatch of what's happening and what you're dealing with.
Well, anyone can go to agriculturedefensecoalition.org or CaliforniaSkywatch.com. There's a category section that interlinks them, and you can look up any of the sections and any of the issues that we've talked about here today and find the government documents, the studies, the research, 10 years of it is on the two websites, and you can find all of the government documents and the information about what we were talking about here today. I want to encourage everyone to go to the U.S. Navy section, because the U.S. Navy has decided that they're going to increase the number of their exercises or expand the areas in which they may occur in the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Gulf of Mexico, and that virtually every coastal state will be affected by their 5-year warfare testing exercises, new weapons testing experiments, etc. And this is over land areas as well as in all of our ocean areas surrounding the United States and in the island areas like the Marianas near Guam and in the Hawaiian Islands. And they're going to make the ranges so big. You can go to my website at the U.S. Navy and look at the U.S. Navy map, and you'll see their map, and the range of extension on the Atlantic side of the ocean goes from the state of Maine and up where the Canadian border is all the way down to Florida, and then it extends into the Gulf of Mexico. This is for weapons training, bomb blasts, 5,000-pound bombs, 1,000-pound bombs, 500-pound bombs, sonar testing, chemical testing, laser testing, magnetic type of testing, radars, sonars, lasers, you name it, they're going to be testing it. And they're going to be testing it on our marine mammals. 11.7 million are going to be disrupted, and the Navy wants to practice in every national marine sanctuary, marine reserve, biologically sensitive area, and to use sonar while the whales are migrating. It's going to be a holocaust in our oceans with shock and awe as the end result. And this is war testing. This is war practice and war testing. The United States Navy has decided to go to war on the oceans of the world all around us and to conduct a massacre in the name of war practice. Now, they're going to be going all the way from the Gulf of Alaska down to Southern California, all the way across to the Hawaiian Islands and to the Marianas Islands, testing inside or outside the various ranges. And I'm going to tell you the holocaust that is going to be committed on the marine mammals, the fish, the coral reefs from the bomb blasts, the missiles. And I'm going to tell you, this is all live fire. This is no duds. This is no just ordinary practice.
Well, you've got to spray bug poison on all the major cities as corporate welfare, and you've got to buy more bombs so you can expend them, and you got to bankrupt the taxpayer somehow.
Of course.
Yeah. Well,
and they're well on their way, and I'm going to tell you that the poisons that they're going to put in the atmosphere with the aluminum oxide testing and the trimethyl aluminum testing and atmospheric testing and all these other things they're doing. And you can read online. Go to the U.S. Navy websites. I put them online. You can read the environmental impact statements. You can read exactly what they intend to do and when they're going to do it and how many ranges are now in operation and the nuclear-powered drones they're talking about.
Oh, wonderful. I love nuclear-powered things falling out of the sky. Well, you've been seeing all these articles. The London Guardian, there was a new one this week. Another environmentalist said radiation's good because it gets rid of humans. There was actually a big articles out praising radiation in Chernobyl because it ran the humans out. I mean, come on, don't be an extremist. Radiation is loving. Well, listen, I really appreciate you joining us, Rosalind Peterson, and we'll talk to you very soon from Skywatch, California. God bless you.
Okay, and thank you.
Thank you. There she goes. All right, I want to continue here in a minute with Obama again, in case you missed it, saying that small business owners are nobodies. I mean, you're actually the slugs. You're the people holding things back. You're the problem. You didn't do anything. Okay? And, just like government created heaven in North Korea, it's going to create it here. And you better learn that. Here's some of the other news that we have some good news. Texas Republican Party calls for mandatory GMO labeling, legalized raw milk, complete elimination of TSA. That is now in the official, voted on planks of the Republican Party that the Patriots have taken over here in Texas. So there you go. At least the Republican Party on the surface can be co-opted if we take it over. Democratic Party is dedicated. It's got a lot of well-meaning idiots in it, but dedicated to collectivism, which only creates nightmare scenarios. Continuing, North Korea's new hereditary dictator cements control over the army, and I guess that's all that matters. They don't have many vehicles that actually run, but they do have fancy uniforms. Kim Jong-un. I'm going to do something very special now on the nightly news. I endorsed Obama. The video's at Infowars.com. It is satire, folks. Well, tonight I'm going to, if I'm going to endorse Obama, why not really endorse total government? I am going to kneel to Kim Jong-un tonight, and this is going to be some very special time we're going to spend worshiping tonight on the nightly news. You don't want to miss that. Chavez accused of eroding rights. Financial Times. Oh, really? Just taking everybody's businesses and putting all those little parasites over them? It's not enough to just pay all the welfare out to the corporations and other people. They have to have your business taken over and you're thrown out. Olympic opening ceremony slashed by half an hour over fears of G4S security shambles could cause chaos and for spectators. Oh, 4 weeks ago, we, the conspiracy theorists, broke all this with a well-known filmmaker who infiltrated, but we're just the conspiracy theorists. See, we don't get Pulitzer Prizes. We're just called conspiracy theorists. So Daily Mail now reporting on that and show is the London Guardian. Olympic security, MOD prepares to call up 2,000 more troops for G4S shortfall. So there you go. The military, as we also told you, taking over that entire operation. But again, we're just right about it again. We don't get a pat on the back or anything for that. We get in trouble. Hey, I saw this. We're going to post this up at Infowars.com. Down on South Congress at the Ben White Florist, they posted South Congress hookers welcome Secret Service. And we had our reporters down there yesterday. This is a real photo. We're going to have video tonight. Ben White Florist, SoCo hookers welcome Secret Service. I like that. You know, the Secret Service a lot of times comes in, we've confirmed, and goes into areas and says, take down your political sign for the rival. They did that for Bush, and now they're going to do it for Obama, I guess. But how about SoCo hookers welcome Secret Service? I like that. Okay, continuing here with the news. I noticed some comments on InfoWars and Prison Planet saying, hey, cover the Sheriff Joe Arpaio thing more. Well, I mean, we did. Red link to Infowars.com, national security threat, Obama birth certificate, proven fraudulent. And look, I don't have a dog in this fight. I didn't get into the birther stuff 4 years ago. I went and looked at the document. It's fake. It's a fake computer font that's supposed to look like typewriter font. How do I know that? Every typewriter strike is different, like a snowflake, okay? Or like a fingerprint, because they splat down differently how hard you push, okay? That's what's going on. That's what's happening. So that's the reality. And it's fake. It's fake. It's totally fake. And they've basically found the same things. And folks, no one was called African or African-American in 1961. That didn't start until the 80s. That's all been confirmed. That's on record. That's happening. That's going on. That's the reality. That's what's happening here, okay? And Arpaio, Obama birth record, definitely fraudulent. AP. So the system's very upset about that, and we'll be covering it tonight because no one believes you anymore. Now, again, we were thrown off because all of his publications, all of his reports, all of his everything said he was born in Kenya. He himself, his wife said that. But that was the cover. It's Frank Marshall Davis. So that's why we have these fake and doctored birth certificates. It turns out he was born in Hawaii, probably. It's just we're given fake birth certificates because it is father unknown on there, and that's what this one shows. They doctored that out because the marks are father unknown, but then it says father known. Point is that it's his phone. He's a $3 bill. We don't even know exactly who he is. 98% chance Frank Marshall Davis. Now, I want to just briefly, I wanted to get him to pop in, and we're going to go a little bit into overdrive to take small business owners that have been holding patiently like Ralph and others. But Lloyd Chapman, ASBL.com, frequent guest, fellow Texan, worked for Bob Bullock here. He's pointed out that they criminally divert most of the funds that are supposed to go to small businesses in bids to multinationals and globalists. They have blacklists. He sued them countless times and won. He exposes this. I briefly wanted to get him on. Play the clip of Obama, please. Here is Obama saying that if you have a small business, you didn't do jack diddly squat. So now not only are small businesses not on the radar. Now it's bad. In fact, you abuse somebody's labor to even have a small business, you pieces of filth. Here it is.
If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. I'm always struck by people who think, well, it must be because I was just so smart. There are a lot of smart people out there. It must be because I worked harder than everybody else. Let me tell you something. There are a whole bunch of hard-working people out there. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, that you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. The internet didn't get invented on its own. Government research created the internet, so then all the companies could make money off the internet.
Okay. Now, this is a guy that gives the contracts to offshore cronies to shut American business down, and the crowd's cheering when they hear about small businesses being bad. Like whenever there's a riot or whatever, the small businesses all get burned down. So, I mean, let me tell you, he knows what he's doing. He used to run stuff in Chicago. He's saying, hey, small businesses, they're going to burn, baby. And it's like, you bet they are. This is the screwball level this has come to. Something that, what do you make of this, Lloyd Chapman? What do you make of now the open assault on the almost extinct small business?
Oh, I like to make dramatic statements and back them up with irrefutable fact. And here's my dramatic statement. Barack Obama is one of the most anti-small business presidents in U.S. history. Fact number one, on February of 2008, he released a statement that said it's time to end the diversion of federal small business contracts to corporate giants. So he admitted it was a problem, he admitted he knew about it, and he promised to stop it. The most recent data released by the SBA about July 3rd showed that of the top 100 recipients of federal small business contracts from the Obama administration, 70 are large businesses, including Finmeccanica, a defense contractor owned by the Italian government that's getting hundreds of millions in U.S. government small business contracts. About 2 years ago, I sued the Obama administration when he removed the parent company Dun & Bradstreet number from the government's database of suppliers, which was how federal investigators and people like me and you could see who really owns a company. Is this a real small business, or is this a front for some large corporation? He removed that from the database so you couldn't tell.
Yeah, folks, you wonder why the economy's shutting down. They're paying to move your jobs. They're not just leaving. They want them gone, so you're on welfare under their control. Stay there. We'll talk about it.
Are you storing food? Prepared families are storing food for months and years, but only have enough fuel stored for days or weeks. Stretch your fuel storage by harnessing the power of the sun with a sun oven. Food can be baked, boiled, or steamed at temperatures of 360 to 400 degrees with the power of the sun. You can use the sun for 50 to 80% of your cooking, allowing you to preserve your fuel storage for rainy days. Sun-baked foods stay moister and have less shrinkage and do not burn. Sun-baked roasts are tastier and more succulent, and sun-baked bread has unparalleled taste and texture. Water can be heated in a sun oven for purification or personal hygiene. For the past 26 years, sun ovens have been proudly made in the U.S. They're durable, have a long life, and come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't be fooled by cheap imitations. For a discount coupon, visit sunoven.com/radio. That's sunoven.com/radio.
Hello, this is Ty Bollinger, author of the best-selling book, Cancer, Step Outside the Box. I want you to know some very important information. In 1985, President Ronald Reagan requested that Carnivora be sent directly to the White House at a time when only the president could obtain this world-class healer. Now, 27 years later, Carnivora capsules are used around the world to keep people healthy. Now you can protect yourself and your loved ones in this age of superbugs with 17 naturally occurring compounds that instinctively respond to abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell. If you want to stay healthy, now's your chance to literally wake up your critical immune cells to attack harmful invaders that don't belong in your body. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY or order from carnivora.com. That's carnivora.com. That's 1-866-836-8735, 1-866-VENUS-FLY, or visit carnivora.com. Protect your immune system. It's the only one you've got.
BePrepared.com heats up July with the hottest sale on the web. Going on now. Save 28% on freeze-dried raspberries or save on our 3-day light emergency kit, a $50 value. This month, just $30.99. Plus, all 1-year supplies are on sale at BePrepared.com. This month, save over $350 on our traditional 2,000-year supply of food. Now, just $12.99.99. And get a hand-grained mill free. Or choose our most popular year supply, the Premium 2000. It gives you 2,000 calories per day from a variety of nutritious meals for 1 whole year. Save over $700 plus get a free Catadine Hiker water filter, a $75 value. More details and more hot July savings at BePrepared.com now through July 31st. Call 800-999-1863 to experience exceptional customer service and BePrepared.com's low price guarantee. That's 800-999-1863. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or BePrepared.com.
Only got a few minutes left with Lloyd Chapman. I appreciate him coming on short notice. So we're told we have Bibles and guns were better clingers. Think if he said that about Muslims or some other group or Jewish groups. I mean, but it's like Christians, it's allowed to be attacked. In fact, it's like cool. And then now, and again, I'm not even supporting Romney, folks. You have to understand, it's that Obama is so bad to come out and say, if you have a small business, you didn't build that, you didn't do that. Implying that you don't have crew that get paid or crew that get promoted. It's like saying that the workers and the government are together against the business owner, when it's the big mega business owners that actually have gamed the whole thing for corporate welfare and to get all the small business contracts. Because, yeah, the American system, I guess you could say, is some government contracts to small businesses with the tax money. But that system's out the window, but then Obama runs around talking about it. Lloyd Chapman of American Small Business League. What do you make of this?
You know, it's stunning that this isn't on the front page of every newspaper in the country. America's in the worst economic downturn in 80 years. We know from the U.S. Census Bureau data that small businesses create over 90% of all net new jobs. We've got a president who's attacking small businesses and diverting the federal funds that by law should go to them to the biggest companies on earth. I simply can't believe that this is not on every television station and every newspaper in the country. It's just shocking. More evidence that Barack Obama is anti-small business. That's why I got to go to federal court every day of the week getting information from the Obama administration about who's getting these federal small business contracts.
It's supposed to be public, but they're trying to make it secret. And you narrowly defeated a blacklist they had. But, oh, yeah. But that's still being implemented secretly.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'll tell you something funny. I have a friend that does business with the government, and he's one of my supporters, and he was doing business with a government contractor, and some purchasing agent sort of unknowingly told him that there was a note in there to blacklist his company. And the guy didn't understand. He was looking at this screen while he's talking to a friend of mine, and but the truth is, what small businesses need to do is stand together and object to this, and
the bid process needs to be. Yeah,
it's $100 billion a year that's supposed to go to small businesses, and it's not happening. Funny thing is, the Obama administration released information July 3rd. They're claiming that they gave $100 billion, over $100 billion to small businesses, and yet they released it secretly to a small group of journalists. That President Obama didn't go on national television and talk about it. He knows that he doesn't want media scrutiny. But if the Obama administration, actually gave $100 billion to small businesses, you'd think he'd issue a press release. He'd be on television talking about it. He hasn't mentioned it. So just notice Barack Obama has not mentioned that July 3rd his administration claimed.
Well, of course. I mean, almost all the bailout money goes to offshore corporations. This Absolutely. Is the plan. And once we're fully imploded, they can all come back in and buy the country up for pennies on the dollar.
Yep. It's unbelievable. By the way, you can't get this story in the mainstream media. I'll tell you something, Alex. I did an interview with CBS, NBC, and the Washington Post. Those stories didn't run. They were supposed to run on certain dates. They didn't run.
By the way, I mean, that's why I got the Washington Post just called today and wants to talk to me. And it's like, even if the reporter's good, it's either going to be a hit piece or it'll never run. I mean, the Wall Street Journal sent a big writer down here a few years ago. They said, it's going to be a cover story Oh, yes. And I said, oh, your editor told you that. I said, it will be killed by News Corps above that. And she called me back a month later and said, my God, you're right. I've never had this happen working here, a decade.
Happens to me every week. But when I did the CBS interview when it was over, I told the cameraman, the producer, the reporter, I said, this story will never air. You can't put Lloyd Chapman on national television. It'll never happen. And when I did the CBS interview, I guess that was about 10 days ago, I told them the same thing. But if you talk to the Washington Post, ask them where their story is about the diversion of federal small business contracts to corporate giants that were supposed to run about 10 days ago.
All right, listen, great job. We'll talk to you for a full interview soon. But understand, folks, they don't want you to know this information. Get InfoWars out to everybody. See you tonight, 7 o'clock Central.
Thank you for listening to GCN.
PrisonPlanet.tv.
Visit GCNlive.com.
Overdrive
today.
coming up. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds could become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Well, Obama has come out and said that entrepreneurs are lazy scum, basically. You didn't build jack squat. So we've had a couple of these evil people sitting there while I talked to the last two guests. Briefly, talking to Ralph and then Marty and Ken, at least. Sorry to David and Jason. We probably won't have time to get to you, but we'll see what happens. Real fast, Ralph, how evil of an entrepreneur scum are you?
How you doing, Alex?
Good.
Man, it's great to talk to you. Been listening for a while, first time caller. I'm from Chicago. As you know, that this is the mafia capital. Previously, my grandfather, when he started the company, we're actually a payroll service. We do a lot of the payroll for a lot of the local businesses in the suburbs. And he would tell me back in the days that he would get shaken down a lot for not complying with whatever they needed or whatever they wanted. And nowadays, it's more of it's bureaucracy that we have to put up with. And I have to deal with Homeland Security almost every day for some employees not filing proper paperwork, and I've been threatened and shut down. I've been fined countlessly.
Oh yeah. Listen, Texas isn't bad compared to other states, but Ted Anderson, half the time I called Ted Anderson up at Genesis, he's got state auditors. He said, just everybody gets this. And they just come in and buy, or inspectors for the building. I mean, talk about socialism. I mean, what a joke.
It's a complete joke. And I don't know what to do. I think about it every day. My wife thinks about it. And I don't know what to tell my children. I could be at risk any day for, a shutdown, and this is my livelihood.
Well, yeah, that's all Patriot Act compliance, where you've got to spy on everybody and they lie to you and say that Homeland Security is in control of you. It's indentured servitude.
We have a lawyer, a personal friend of mine who does work for us when I do need him, and he tells me that a lot of the things that he sees is very unconstitutional. A lot of the things that he sees is just them putting pressure just to get what they want.
So what are they wanting? I mean, wanting you to spy on people, or what is it?
They come in with new forms every week. They want social security numbers. They want us to comply with. They want us to do because there's so many there's so many people in Chicago that they don't know who's illegal and who's not, and they want to make sure that we're not employing or paying.
But then meanwhile, they're hiring the illegals and bringing them in. It's just a way to harass businesses. I appreciate your call. Horrible to hear that. Marty in Florida, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, Alex. I've been in construction for 40 years, and not once have I seen any government officials around. I mean, outside it gets 100 degrees. It gets that hot that, you can't, they'd pass out. And I just feel like for him to say that.
Yeah, turn your radio off.
I just want to, man, he makes me so mad.
You got to turn your radio off.
Alex, also, I've got a little issue here. There was a guy in Leesburg was killed at 1:30 in the morning. His door was kicked in by cops. And I
saw that. They came to the wrong house, and he had a gun, so they shot him, right?
They shot him dead, man. All he done, he opened the door to find out who was there because they didn't identify themselves, and they shot him dead.
Yeah, but I mean, government it creates everything. I mean, they gave him a gift.
I mean, and there's a guy standing there.
No, sir. They gave him a gift. They came to the wrong house, banged on the door, opened it, and shot him. I mean, that's government. They look at what Hitler and Stalin and Mao and Fidel Castro and Pol Pot and Genghis Khan and Julius Caesar, and Vlad the Impaler. They gave that man a gift.
For more than 6 years, I've talked on the air about creating a social network. PlanetInfoWars.com is in its beta phase. We're just launching, and I want to invite all of you out there to be in on the ground level. Planet InfoWars is about people coming together, forming activist organizations, getting involved politically, hunting and fishing, gardening, dating. This is a place for people who love freedom to meet and to talk and to write and to post information. And I give you this pledge. We are not going to spy on you and sell your data to the New World Order. PlanetInfoWars.com